1989 Maine State Little League Championship, brought to you by the James River Corporation. Finding a better way by bringing you Northern, Brawny, and Vanity Fair paper products.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Knights of Columbus Field in the city of Old Town. And we are now set for the Maine State Championship Little League All-Star Game. And hello, everyone. I'm Dale Duff, along with my broadcast partners, Bill Green and Rich Kimball. Today's game between Bangor West and York. And we've got a story here of a couple of Cinderella teams, the teams that have not been in this position for a long, long time.
Yeah, York had only won one All-Star game in the history of the league until this year, and now, of course, undefeated all the way here to the championship game. But they do have an advantage. Most teams that get this far have two excellent pitchers, and York has both of them present. And Phil Tarbox will be pitching today as an outstanding pitcher. We saw him play shortstop. Nice young ball player. His father, Bob, is one of the coaches of the York team. They're ready to go. They've played well. They've scored a lot of runs, and they've got a good pitcher ready to throw today.
And for Bangor, the same Cinderella story. It's been a long time since they've been here.
It sure has, yeah. Back in the early 70s, since the Bangor team was in this position, and it's been all the way back to 1961, the last time that Bangor won a state championship in Little League. They'll be going with Roger Fisher on the mound today. He played short. First time he played there in the All-Stars the other day, and did a nice job in the victory over Lewiston yesterday, and he'll get the nod as starting pitcher as Bangor tries to win their first state championship in 28 years.
Well, tournament officials have done a magnificent job getting this field in shape. Randy Rand, the tournament director, and his crew have done yeoman work to get this field ready as we've waited for the rain to stop. It has, and we're set to play ball, Little League style. We'll be back with more after this.
I can't hear you.
The special softness of Northern bathroom tissue comes from two sheets being quilted together. And quilting makes a difference you can feel. Northern, quilted for a special kind of softness.
Welcome to the new EBS Kitchen and Bath displays and renovated store in Ellsworth. Let your imagination soar as you view a stunning array of the finest in cabinetry, appliances, paneling, windows, and doors. EBS offers professional and personalized kitchen and bath design services to suit your taste and your budget. Welcome also to more than 11,000 square feet of hardware and home improvement products. EBS, your building project partner, has taken another giant step to make your everyday living better every day.
It was just a loose chain ring, Joe. You'll be all set now.
Thanks a lot, Eddie. If only everything in life were that easy to diagnose and fix. But human ailments, like multiple sclerosis, are much more difficult, and the cure seems miles away. Hi, I'm Joe Cupo, and I'd like to ask you to join me for the 5th annual MS Great Bicycle Escape on August 19th and 20th, geared for cyclists of all abilities. Call 761-5815 and join us on the road to a cure.
At Champion of Maine, we specialize in vehicles and transportation. We provide charter bus service, school bus transportation, and accessories for the handicapped. If you're a person with a mobility problem and you want to drive, the company to consult is Champion of Maine. Champion of Maine carries a complete line of Braun equipment for use in vehicles driven or occupied by people with physical disabilities. Whether it's special equipment or vehicle modification, the professionals at Champion of Maine can do it for you. We're bigger than you think.
Well, it's been a 4-day tournament here in Old Town. The action started on Thursday. Some of the guys have been here since Thursday, and they've been trying to make it an interesting and educational experience for the players as well. The games have been exciting, but there was a lot going on off the field as well. The rain yesterday morning didn't deter our Little Leaguers. They toured a couple of well-known Old Town companies. First, the Old Town Canoe Plant, where the legendary canoes are made. The players got to see how the cedar wood is heated and twisted around 80-year-old molds that make the 1989 models just like the 1909s. And the guys seemed impressed by the delicate workmanship. It takes about 70 man-hours to build a wooden canoe. They also saw the Royal X and fiberglass models. Back on the bus, the players got to talk over the best part of the tour. The next stop was the James River Corporation. There, the players got a first-hand look at how some paper products are made. They also seemed touched by how big the industry actually is. And even though the subjects were educational and about industry, the players' thoughts never got too far away from baseball. Maybe the biggest memory will be of having once been 12 years old and being on a road trip with your teammates. There was a banquet at the KFC Hall, a banquet at the Lions. There's been all kinds of activities up here for the kids. They've made a lot of friends, had a lot of fun. And for the two surviving team, another big memory about to come up, the excitement of playing in a state Little League Championship All-Star game. And now the guys will call the play-by-play, Dale Duff and Rich Kimball. Dale?
Okay, Bill, thanks very much, and you're right. This is the thrill of a lifetime for a lot of these kids who have played hard all year long in the regular season, and then for the last month or so have practiced together as all-stars for their respective teams. As you take a look at the Bangor team coached by Dave Mansfield, Neil Waterman, and their team as they get pennants. Great to see. Brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it, Rich?
Yes, it does, and it's going to be an interesting game to see how these kids react to what they've done the last couple of days, which is spend a lot of time waiting around. Yesterday, the Bangor-Lewiston semifinal game was postponed a number of times before they were able to finally get it played late in the afternoon. This one, of course, scheduled to go at 12:30 today, and these kids have spent a lot of time doing what we used to do as kids, looking up at the sky and waiting for that rain to finally stop. But we want to take a moment and just congratulate the crew up here, Randy Rand and his wife Judy, and the people who have done a tremendous job to get this field ready to go.
And as we sat around and waited, and as the grounds crew people helped to get the field all ready, it was the kids, I think, enjoying it the most. The adults and the TV crews, we were all nervous, wondering if we were going to get it in. The kids were just having a good old time, as it always is.
Sure. They're out throwing a ball around, hitting tennis balls. We saw one kid out there hitting his glove. Anything to get ready for the game.
That's right. Well, they have sat around. The scheduled game time was 12:30. It is now shortly after 3. And of course, for the Bangor team, they had to sit around a lot of the day yesterday. They were supposed to play at 10:30 in the semifinals. They finally played late in the afternoon against Lewiston and won that game 9-4. By the way, in the semis, Bangor got here by beating Lewiston yesterday 9-4. York handled Yarmouth by a score of 9-8 on Thursday in their semifinal round.
Yeah, and both teams, you talked about the length of the schedule and how much these guys have been playing baseball for quite a while. Neither of these teams really expected the season to go this far. For York, last year in their district tournament, first time that they had ever won a postseason game in the All-Stars, and Bangor, quite frankly, didn't expect to be at this point. And two teams that maybe a lot of teams didn't think would be in a state championship are here today, but they're both a couple of clubs, as their coaches have told us, that have come together at the right time. And it's tough when you take a group of all-stars who are competing against each other in their individual towns during the year, then to bring them together and have them compete with really not a lot of practice time once that all-star tournament begins. And both of these teams and their coaches have done a terrific job.
Okay, the teams and coaches have been introduced, and now the umpires are getting a little applause, and we're going to have a special ceremony to throw out the first pitch here in just a couple of moments. The winner of this game is the State of Maine champion, and will go a week from Monday to Bristol, Connecticut for the regional. And the winner of that regional tournament is bound for Williamsport and the Little League World Series, which is something that everybody shoots for. Now we have our national anthem.
I love my country, and I will respect its laws. I will play fair and strive to win, but win or lose, I will always do my best. I would ask you to remain standing as Julie DeGrasse of Old Town will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. 'Tis the star-spangled banner, oh, long may it wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you.
Well done, and now we are set for the ceremonial first pitch. And the fellow to throw out the first ball to Little League folks around the state of Maine, no stranger at all, Mr. Plaisted, huh, Rich?
That's right, the man who helped bring Little League baseball to the state of Maine back in, I guess it was the late 40s that he finally, after reading an article in, I think it was the Saturday Evening Post about Little League and its success around the country, decided it would be a good thing to do here in the state of Maine, and it has caught on very big since then.
Right now, the home plate umpire meeting with the coaches, going over ground rules, I'm sure. And
yeah, Bangor, by the way, has won the toss of the coin. And interestingly enough, on this wet day, the coin went in the air, came down, landed on its side, and then flipped over to tails. And Bangor had won the toss, and they will be the home team and taking the field right now as we get set to go with this one.
And just a reminder again that in Little League Baseball, it is a 6-inning affair. And the starting lineups for York, Rich.
All right, York, the All-Stars will go like this. Dan Bouchard will lead off. He is the catcher today. Batting second and playing shortstop is Justin Philbrick. Phil Tarbox on the mound. He did a nice job behind the plate the other day for York. He'll be pitching and batting third. Center fielder Pat Hutchins batting fourth. The left fielder Andy Estes hits fifth. In right field and batting sixth, big guy Matt Hoyt. Ryan Fernald, the second baseman, batting seventh. At third base, Josh Wyatt hitting eighth. And batting ninth and playing first base is Matt Franke.
And now Mr. Plaisted is on the mound with Judy Rand, who also happens to be president of Old Town Little League.
That's right.
Well done, Mr. Little League in Maine.
That was the split-fingered fastball,
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's better than the pitch Stephen King threw the other day to open up the tournament.
That's right. He did get that second one in
yes,
there,
he did.
okay.
Yeah, once the cameras were rolling, he threw a much better pitch. Well, you're looking at Roger Fisher on the mound, the pitcher for Bangor West today. Been a good, versatile type of ball player for Bangor in these playoffs. He filled in at shortstop. Mike Pelkey, who was their shortstop for much of the playoffs, went on a trip with the family and has been gone for this state tournament, and Fisher filled in for him at shortstop and did a nice job yesterday. Matter of fact, started a double play that ended the game in the last of the sixth inning.
And they say the key to him is that he can throw strikes, and that's exactly what you want in Little League action. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff. You just need to get the ball over the plate, and that generally works any level, but particularly at Little League. Again, just to remind you, in case it's been a while since you folks have seen Little League action on your TV set, the mound is 46 feet. The rubber is 46 feet from home plate. The bases are 60 feet apart, and the outfield fences are about 200 feet away from home plate, pretty much all the way around this Knights of Columbus field here in Old Town.
Boy, and you take a look at that infield from here, and it is pretty dry considering all the rain that's come down in the last 36 hours.
They've done a remarkable job. They did some replacing of the sod both yesterday and today, and it looks like in fantastic shape. And I'll tell you, the kids, you could tell about an hour ago, they just wanted to get out there and play. They didn't care what the conditions were, and we are just moments away from the first pitch. They whip it around the horn, and stepping up to the plate is Dan Bouchard. He's the catcher for the York All-Stars, and he'll get things started in the Little League Championship game. And the first pitch is outside and low, and we are underway. Bangor West and York in the state championship Little League game.
That's Ken Parker from Bangor area working behind the plate. We'll catch up with all the umpires when we get the opportunity.
The 1-0 pitch is fouled back and out of play, and so the count goes 1-1. Bouchard was 0 for 3 in the semifinals against Yarmouth on Thursday. He did have a walk in the game. Coach Chuck Bittner told us that he had 3 or 4 catches. He's his man. There's a strike call, and the count goes 1-2. Wiggles that back and forth like Carney Lansford there, doesn't he? There's a ground ball that will trickle foul up the first base line, played by Owen King of Bangor. Owen, of course, the son of writer Stephen King, one of the big sticks in the lineup for the Bangor team.
And his dad is here, keeping score, acted all season long as the official scorer for the Bangor West Club.
Here's the 1-2 pitch outside, and it goes to 2-2. Crowd starting to filter in all the way around the field, and I think we're going to have a nice turnout. If you are in the Old Town area, come on up. The game is just underway. It's for all the marbles in Little League All-Star action in Maine. The count goes full now to the catcher, Dan Bouchard of York. The 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, foul down the third base line this time.
Well, this is a tough at bat here for Bouchard. You like that in the leadoff hitter. Stay up there, foul a couple off. Look at 3 balls. All of a sudden, your pitcher out there is wondering if he's ever going to get to that number 2 hitter.
York would like to start off the game like they did Thursday against Yarmouth when they scored a lot of runs early. Scored 5 runs in the first inning. There's the pitch that goes outside. Tried to put a little wrinkle on that one, it looked like, and so Bouchard gets a base on balls as Fisher threw a lot of pitches at that at bat. So a walk starts the game for York, and up to the plate steps Justin Philbrick. He's the York shortstop. Right back to the pitcher it comes. He throws to second for 1. Back to first. He is safe. Close play at first, and Bangor almost had a pretty nice double play.
Well, a nice heads-up play that time by Roger Fisher. The ball hit right back to him. He looked for a moment, thought about going to first, and then realized he had the force out at second and got that lead man. And boy, if you can do that in Little League most of the time, you're in pretty good shape.
And so, with 1 out now and still a runner on first base, Phil Tarbox comes to plate for York. Phil Tarbox is the starting pitcher for York, and he swings and misses, and the count is 0-2. Tarbox, as we mentioned before, the catcher in Thursday's semifinal, the pitcher today. He's the son of assistant coach for York.
Yeah, Bobby Tarbox.
1 out, runner on first.
Remember that in Little League, runners cannot take a lead. They can't leave the base, as a matter of fact, until the ball has gone past the hitter, or if contact is made, then they can take off. And no leading and no stealing the way we're used to watching it with the Red Sox. They have to wait until the ball has gone past the hitter.
Matt Kinney, the shortstop, and the pitcher in the semifinals with a few words of advice for Fisher, and that ball is way high, and the count goes to 1-2.
The eephus.
It looked like it, didn't it?
That was my fastball a little bit.
The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, and the runner Philbrick takes off for second base on the wild pitch. So with one out, Justin Philbrick now at second base for York. Fisher struggling a little bit with his control, maybe not unexpected considering all the standing around and waiting and the added pressure of some TV cameras maybe around and a lot of folks around.
Both these teams that took some time earlier in the afternoon and went over to the University of Maine's Fieldhouse and got some swings in there and loosened up a little bit.
And last night's banquet, they had a chance to listen to a hitting clinic put on by John Winkin at the banquet, so maybe they put some of that to good use here today. We'll see. There's a strike on the inside corner, and Tarbox is out of there. A fastball on the inside corner, and Phil Tarbox goes down. And for Bangor, that's 2 out now.
Boy, and that's a big confidence builder, too, for Roger Fisher. A 2-2 count, runner on second base, and he just reared back and fired right in the inside corner.
And up now is Pat Hutchins for the York team, and there's a strike call on him, and there's a bluff towards second, as Philbrick thought about maybe stealing and then decided not to. The 1-strike pitch, that's wide and outside again.
Watch Bangor on defense, and one of the things that they do very well, Dale, every time that Joe Wilcox throws the ball back to his pitcher, the second baseman and the shortstop come in and back up that throw to make sure it doesn't go wild and get into the outfield.
One thing that we have definitely noticed with Bangor this weekend, they're fundamentally sound. There's a great cut there by Hutchins, but he got nothing but air that time, and the count goes to 1-2. 2 out, runner on second, first inning. No score. It's Bangor and York in the State Little League All-Star Championship game. Hutchins swings and misses, and that's it for York in the top of the first inning. They leave a runner, and at the end of a half inning, it's York nothing and Bangor coming to bat.
Hi, Hallett's Handyman here at Hallett's Doors and Windows in Howland. Let's meet some satisfied customers.
Hello, folks. Your old pal Mason Mutt here. Ed's going to build me a brand new doghouse, and I can pick out my own peach tree door here at Hallett's. On it, folks. This is old Deadeye, and I'm building a new ranch house, and I know at Hallett's I'll get quality like peach tree and lockwood. Wahoo! Hello, Margaret here. One of the great things about Hallett's is the friendly service and the helpful attitude of Hallett's handymen. So for the best in doors and windows, head for Fred Hallett's in Howland.
Uniting people with the place they'll call home. It's that kind of perception and individual attention the Bradford Real Estate and Insurance Agency has built their reputation on, continuing to sell over 90% of their listed homes. With the sophisticated advantages of multiple listings, a toll-free hotline, and nationwide listings, the Bradford Agency is dedicated to making home buying and selling a pleasure. Secure all you've worked for with an insurance plan to guard your future and the ones who depend on you. The Bradford Agency, where integrity and results go hand in hand.
The 3E Company has the resources to handle any electrical installation project of any size and scope. As one of Maine's outstanding electrical contractors, we have the knowledge and expertise to construct a reliable power system to suit your needs. Be assured that the 3E Company will pay close attention to every detail to ensure a successful electrical installation that will perform reliably for years. When it comes to your electrical installation, whatever the job requires, the 3E Company can do it right, on schedule and on budget.
James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
All right, right back at the Knights of Columbus Field in Old Town, the Bangor Little League All-Star lineup. Rich?
And they'll lead off with Nick Trescus, the left fielder. Ryan Arabino, the center fielder, batting second. Matt Kinney at shortstop hitting third. The third baseman, Kevin Rochford, will bat cleanup. Roger Fisher, the pitcher, hitting fifth. Owen King batting sixth at first base. Arthur Dora, the right fielder, will hit seventh. Mike Arnold, the second baseman, eighth. And batting ninth and catching will be Joe Wilcox. And on the mound for York this afternoon, a big guy, Phil Tarbox. And, you know, you talk about mechanics with young pitchers, and you watch him warm up, and he has a very fluid motion, uses his legs well. You like that good leg drive for a pitcher, and Tarbox looks tough out there.
And it'll be an interesting opening matchup because Trescus started off the semifinal game with a home run, his first at bat. The first pitch from Tarbox is a fastball right down the middle. Nick Trescus swings and misses at the pitch at the knees, and it's 0-2. And he wastes little time there. 3 straight pitches, all fast. And Bangor's Trescus is down on strikes.
What's the line they used to use about Bob Gibson? He pitches like he's double parked.
Boy, he can really throw. We mentioned he's a catcher, this Tarbox, and he can throw the heat. Now, Ryan Arabino. Whoa, he gets one little head music, little chin music there, over the head, in fact. And
Arabino had a grand slam in the victory yesterday over Lewiston, and he has been on a power surge of late. 5 home runs in the playoffs. He's had 15 this season.
Well, one of his favorite players, he says, is Bo Jackson, and he's the Bo Jackson of Little League, right?
Yes, he is, and we'll talk later about the big home run that Arabino had in the playoffs that really got Bangor to this point.
There's one that's fouled back. It's a 1-1 count now. You can see some spots as you look down there on the infield, so they replaced some of the sod. As we mentioned before, the field is in remarkably good shape for the amount of rain that we have had over the last couple of days. It's inside and high again. The count is now 2-1.
You might have seen in the screen that Arabino is 13. If I remember right, the cutoff date is August 1st, and that determines your league age. 12, of course, is as old as you can be during the year. And he just had a birthday a couple of days ago, August 3rd.
Tarbox now runs the count to 3-1 on Arabino. No score, 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Bangor and York in the state title game. So there's a swing and a miss, and it's now full on Arabino. Ryan was 2 for 4 with that grand slam in the semifinals yesterday against Lewiston. Now the 3-2 pitch. He'll take a walk, and we've got our second walk of the game. As Fisher walked a York player in the top half of the inning, and that'll bring to the plate Matt Kinney for Bangor.
And this is how Little League has changed since the days when you and I played. Matt, on his regular season team, plays with his sister. They're on the same team together.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Times have changed. There's a pitch that goes inside on the bunt attempt, and down to second goes Arabino. And that's one thing that we have noticed about Bangor in postseason play. They will be aggressive at the plate and on the base paths.
Squares around to bunt, and you don't know if that shook up Tarbox at all or not, but he fired that ball inside and high, and no chance for the catcher to come up with it. Ryan Arabino gets to second pretty easily.
There's a swing and a miss, and the count is now 1-1. There's Ryan Arabino on second base. There's a swing, a foul tip, they say, and it'll go to 1-2. It's very overcast here in Old Town. A lot of fog around as well, but no rain for the moment. That's all that counts at this stage. Wind is blowing out. There's a fastball way up high, and the count goes 2-2. The throw goes through to second base, but Arabino is back safely.
Yeah, really outside of a very quick shower that we had around 12:30, it hasn't rained much since the middle of this morning.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's outside and low, and the count now goes full on Kinney.
And the second straight hitter, he's taken to a full count.
And now coach Chuck Bittner wants to come out and have a word and try to settle his young man down a little bit.
You think Chuck might be a little bit tired by this point in the day?
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. Did he tell the story that he told us? Huh?
Yeah, Chuck Bittner works as a postal clerk back home in York, and he had to work this morning from 4 until 7 o'clock in the morning. Got in the car as soon as he got out of work and drove up here, and then stood around and waited for the rain to stop.
And he wanted to play, too. I think both teams really wanted to get out there and play today, if at all possible. And he's tired now, but if his team could come up with a win today, I'm sure he'd get his second win in a hurry. That pitch is inside, and so Kinney draws a walk, and now Bangor with runners on first and second. And they'll bring their cleanup hitter, Kevin Rochefort, to the plate. He's their third baseman. So Fisher, Tarbox pitches to Rochefort, and he wants to bunt. And takes the strike. I think he pulled the bat back, but they called it a strike anyway. 1 out, and you will note that even with 1 out, Bangor will be in the bunting situation. Coach Neil Waterman told us that.
Yeah, one of the reasons they like to do it is to make those fielders make the plays. They have to pick up the ball, make a good throw, and then have that throw caught.
Strike 2, and now we'll see maybe the bunt taken off a bit because it's an 0-2 count. 1 out. Arabino is on second. Kinney is on first base. No score.
And notice that defensively, too, York was ready for that bunt. They had their coverage all set. A lot of times, some Little League teams won't have a play down, but they knew what to expect.
The 0-2 pitch from Tarbox. That's high. The winner of this game will go to the regionals, which will be held in Bristol, Connecticut. It starts a week from Monday. I believe that's a double elimination tournament as well. And there's a swing and a miss by Rochefort for strike 3. So Bangor now with 2 out. And Tarbox feels a little bit better about that.
Up high, that's a tough pitch to hit, too, especially when you're down in the count 0-2. And Rochefort was just trying to get out of the way. Swings and misses, and it's the second strikeout of the inning now for Phil Tarbox.
And now Andy Estes for Bangor. He's their left fielder. He'll swing at a pitch. I checked that. I take that back. I'm looking at the wrong page. Roger Fisher. I'm sorry. He's Bangor's pitcher. An 0-1 count with 2 out. 2 men aboard. That one is inside and low. Arabino keeps threatening to maybe steal.
Getting the ball right up the middle. Right up the middle. You're scoring him on a base hit.
Tarbox to Fisher. Pitcher to pitcher. And that's inside, and the count runs to 2-1.
Boy, just watch his delivery, though. Watch Tarbox, and he gets that good leg kick, drives toward home plate, and when you're that big, 46 feet's pretty close.
There's a foul ball, and the count goes now 2-2. Well, Coach Bittner told us that he is 3-0, Tarbox is, in tournament play, and averaging about 12 strikeouts a game. And he's got 2 here in the first inning so far, so he can throw the heat. Didn't you always like to face that pitcher, though, in Little League, when you were up there on the mound?
At least you knew where it was going.
Yeah. And Fisher takes a called third strike. And so Bangor gets a couple of walks, leave a couple of men on board, but Tarbox strikes out the side. So we've completed 1 inning here in Old Town in the state championship game. No score, Bangor and York.
At Champion of Maine, we specialize in vehicles and transportation. We provide charter bus service, school bus transportation, and accessories for the handicapped. If you're a person with a mobility problem and you want to drive, the company to consult is Champion of Maine. Champion of Maine carries a complete line of Braun equipment for use in vehicles driven or occupied by people with physical disabilities. Whether it's special equipment or vehicle modification, the professionals at Champion of Maine can do it for you. We're bigger than you think.
Step right up for a big show of savings, the Carnival of Values at True Value Hardware stores. Clean up with a pack of 15 True Tough yard and trash bags, just $2.99. Then pack up with a Rubbermaid rough tote container, only $6.77. This Master Mechanic label maker, just $2.99, comes with 3 rolls of tape. And for $3.33, get this Casio 8-digit solar calculator in the Carnival of Value Circular and at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Look what you've been missing in the Passamaquoddy and Fundy Bay areas of the United States and Canada. Stay an extra day in the Quaddy Loop. It's always been here. Now take the time to enjoy it.
I'm with Bangor High School baseball coach Bob Kelly. Cal, do you notice that the groups that do well in Little League play, like this Bangor West group, have come to high school and are successful again?
Well, I think on the last occasion, like the last Bangor team that played in the state tournament, played in 1979 and 1985, that same group of kids, won the state championship in high school. So I definitely think there's a correlation.
So you're going to hang in another 6 years. Back to Dale and Rich.
Okay, Bill, thanks very much. Bob Kelly has a few wins under his belt at Bangor High, huh?
Yeah, a milestone victory this past season, too. And what a job he's done over the years at Bangor. And one of the reasons he's here today, too, we should mention, is that his assistant coach, one of his assistants during the season, is Neil Waterman, who is the assistant coach of the Bangor West squad. So kind of a vested interest in this for Bob.
All right, we begin inning number 2. Andy Estes, York's left fielder, will lead off for York in the second inning of play. Roger Fisher throws up over the head for the second time in the game.
That's my plate. Get up. Establish that inside corner.
No score, just beginning, second inning of play. That one falls outside and low, and the count now 2-0. As we mentioned before, both of these teams Cinderella stories. Bangor, the last state championship 28 years ago, and York has never won a state championship. In fact, they won their first postseason game just last year. So both of these teams trying to find the story to go just a little bit more and get to the regionals. One of the teams will. 2-1 now as Estes fouls that one back.
You know, both of these pitchers, for the fact that they're on statewide television, big crowd, state championship, and had to wait a while, they've shown pretty good composure out there.
They really have. They really have. I'm trying to think what it was like 20 years ago, whatever it was, when I was out there pitching, and I remember being nervous, and there were no cameras around either at that point, so.
No, we didn't have them back then, did they?
Black and white, that was for sure. 3-1 now to Estes, who's leading off the second inning. He says his favorite player is Bo Jackson as well. A lot of Bo Jackson fans in these two teams, and that's ball 4. And so Fisher walks his second man of the game. And now let's see the strategy for York. Will they bunt? The infield is slow because of the water.
Although Matt Hoyt is a big kid and can hit the ball hard.
Matt Hoyt 0 for 2 with a walk in the semifinal game on Thursday against Yarmouth.
Coach Chuck Bittner told us he dented some fences back home this season. Good line drive hitter.
I would say that he is at least 6 feet, maybe 6'1". And Fisher, I would say, is what? 4'10"?
Maybe 5 feet, but that'll be pushing it a little.
1 ball, no strike. Runner on first for York. Estes on a walk. There's the pitch that goes down low. 2-0 now. Still waiting for our first hit in this game. And you get a feeling that even though Bangor scored 9 runs to win its ball game and York scored 9 runs to win its ball game, a lot of times when it comes down to this, you get low-scoring affairs.
Pitching and defense will win for you most of the time. York, in their victory, even though they scored 9 runs, they had just 4 hits against Yarmouth.
Here's a swing and a miss on an inside pitch, and the count goes to 2-1. Matt Hoyt says his favorite player, Jose Canseco. Boy, he looks like him too, kind of, doesn't he?
He does. Boy, watch this. A tough one if you're a hitter. You hate this pitch. Inside and high, just kind of sawed him off. Nothing he could do about that one. Especially with those aluminum bats. That's one that goes right off that rubber handle if you hit it at all.
That's one thing that's changed since we played the metal bats, huh?
That's right. Just think what we could have done.
There's a swing and a miss on a high pitch, and got the fastball by him that time, and the count goes now 2-2. One out. Fisher. Roger Fisher. No out in the second inning of play. 2-2 the count. Runner on first. That one goes inside, and the count runs full yet another time.
You're talking about favorite players, and you ever notice that kids tend to identify with players that they're the same size as or perhaps play the same position?
There's a swing and a miss by Hoyt, and he's not happy with himself as he knows he went after ball 4. And that's the first out here in the second inning, a big out for Fisher.
And it's strikeout number 3. Look at that little dip on that one. Some movement on that pitch on the outside, and Hoyt went after it. Was fooled, and it is the third strikeout now, 1 away here in the second inning for York.
And Ryan Fernald is up, and he swings a little bit late, and he'll foul it off to the backstop. He was one of the big heroes on Thursday against Yarmouth.
He was the winning pitcher and got in some trouble early, but then settled in and had a nice stretch in the middle innings and ended up with a victory. Also had a home run in that ball game.
As Roger Fisher looks in for the sign with Estes on first base, the pitch goes low and the count goes to 1-1. In the little sheets we asked the players to fill out for our broadcast, Curlin says it's a challenge to be in Little League. It's a challenge to be the best. Isn't that nice, huh?
Yeah. Well, one of the 2 best in the state right here. Championship on the line.
That one goes high, and the count goes 2-1. And the thing is, because both of these teams have seen limited action in the state tournament over the years, it is a cliche to say that no one's really a loser after this game, but it is true in this case. I mean, these 2 teams, I think both players and coaches would admit that they have gone much, much further than they ever thought they would. Now timeout on the field as the umpire comes out and has a word with Fisher, and they're going to do a little groundwork, I think, right?
I think the landing area where his left foot is coming down, maybe his gotten underneath that dry surface down to where it's a little bit muddy, and so Randy Rand will come out and take a rake to it. Boy, they have been working hard. Last time we saw Randy on the field, he was up to his elbows in sod out there.
Well, I'm glad we got a chance to get Randy on camera because he has done yeoman's work all weekend long. And in fact, he's been working for a year getting this tournament ready.
That's right.
And I'm glad we got a chance to have him on camera. That is Randy Rand, folks, the tournament director. I believe his wife is the president and he's the vice president of Old Town Little League. He coaches Farm League. He's got a couple of kids in Farm League. They are very active in Old Town sports.
And the whole city of Old Town has done a great job here at getting ready for this tournament. It's a big thing for them. And they've really done a lot of work on the field and getting the facilities ready, providing host families and homes for a lot of the players who've traveled up from southern Maine, and a lot of corporate sponsors kicking in. James River, a big contributor to this Little League tournament. And boy, it's great to see, and it's a good thing for the area, too.
All the service clubs in the area have donated time and things.
Yeah, they've had banquets the last couple of nights for the players. All worthwhile when you get out here on the field today. And a little raking will make things a bit better for the pitchers now. We'll try to resume things. Well, this being the 50th anniversary of Little League, it's an extra special time. Here are some of the players who, in the 1939 season, were the superstars. Names like Williams and DiMaggio, Bobby Dorr, some great ones, Lefty Grove and Johnny Mize. 50 years ago, the first season of Little League all started by a guy named Carl Stotz, who wanted something for his nephews to do. Out in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, 3 teams started on a makeshift ball field located near a coal mine. And 50 years later, there are, some 2.5 million kids all over the world playing Little League baseball.
And as they say in the books, at least anyway, that each team Back there in 1939, $35 was donated to buy the uniforms. And they said, I think it was
$1.68, wasn't it, for the uniform? Something like that.
$1.58 I have down anyway for each uniform. What would that buy? Would that buy a pair of socks today?
I think that'll put the letter on your cap.
But anyway, Little League has come a long, long way.
And Carl Stotz, who is the creator of this whole thing of Little League, is still around, 79 years old, but still going strong. And you had a chance to talk to him on the phone the other day.
I did. An interesting fellow. He said he just came back to Pennsylvania from a trip down in Charleston, West Virginia. He said it was a very emotional trip because it is the 50th year of Little League. He's been all over the place, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch in state tournaments all over the country. He is the founder of Little League baseball. Of course, they played baseball long before that, but he's the first guy to kind of get the thing organized and play as a Little League team and a league.
And Williamsport, of course, after his invention, has become the home of Little League baseball, the Mecca. That's where the World Series is held every year, and boy, it has truly become a worldwide event.
Bill Green has joined us. Bill.
Roger Fisher having trouble with his landing foot, slipping and sliding a little bit, and he asked Coach Waterman to get him some help with it, and the grounds crew Johnny on the spot.
Boy, as they have been all weekend.
They really have.
Well, you can see that Roger Fisher has done some work here so far. 30 pitches he's thrown into the second inning with just one out, and play resumes with Ryan Fernald up there.
And the count on Fernald is 2-1. Just to recap here, because we've had the delay, we've got one out with a runner on first base. That's Andy Estes. And Ferland swings and misses to make the count 2-2 now. We're in the second inning of play. Bangor and York, no score in the State Little League All-Star Championship game. And that's ball 4 as we missed a ball along the way, so it'll be Ferland taking a walk, and now York has a threat going with one out. Estes walks, and Ferland walks with 2 on now and 1 out, and stepping to the plate is Josh Wyatt.
Well, Wyatt was the scheduled starter against Yarmouth the other day, and got on the field and wrenched his knee a little bit and missed the rest of the ball game. Back in there as the starter today, and says he's feeling fine.
That's a strike call on him as Fisher bears down. I love look at Rich, the little questionnaire that Wyatt filled out. He's got on the bottom, he's practicing his autographs.
Well, it's something you need to have ready.
All right, Josh. There's the strike, and both runners break at third. The play, he's out. Oh, what a throw by Joey Wilcox.
Watch this play. Wilcox isn't even a regular catcher during the year. The ball gets loose in the dirt. Wilcox reached behind and fired it down to third base. Beautiful throw, and Kevin Rochford right there waiting for the ball. Slapped that tag on. You gotta like that. Nice play by the catcher and the third baseman, and they're 2 away.
And now Ryan Ferland is on second. Here's the play, the grounder to first. Fisher cannot get there in time, loses the play, and meanwhile there's a runner scoring is Ferland. So a little mix-up over there at first base, and we have our first run of the game. I believe we're going to have to rule that a base hit.
I think so.
So we'll credit Josh Wyatt with a base hit. And I'm not sure he'll be given an RBI on the play as Ferland scored. Here's the play again.
Ground ball to the first base side. King and Fisher both went after it. Fisher got the ball, lost his footing, and didn't know whether to try and get it to Arnold covering or take it himself. The ball got loose. And heading home to score was Ryan Fernald, and it's a 1-0 game. York in the lead.
And now Matt Frankie. That's pronounced Frankie, their first baseman. And a 1-strike count on him. So York draws first blood in the state championship game. It looked like a tough play right from the get-go because the infield is a bit soft, and I think there will be a little bit of footing problems. It's to be expected, I think.
Have a strange spin on that ball, too, once it hit the ground.
The 0-1 pitch is grounded to third base. They go to second for the out. Nice play there by Kevin Rochford. And York is retired, but not before scoring a run. They get one hit, one run, and they leave a runner on. And after an inning and a half, it's York 1, Bangor West 0.
James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
I'll give you a Conseco for a Clemens.
Gee, Bud, baseball cards are bigger than ever.
Yeah, and now there's the Nissan Superstar set.
Stars like Ellis Burks, Wally Joyner, and Darryl Strawberry. Look for a free card in every loaf of Nissan white bread.
Thanks. Hey, Bobby, what do you give me for a Ted Williams?
A broken bat, maybe.
Get out of here. Collect all 20 Nissan Superstar cards.
It's fun.
Golf. Tennis. Or any sport. In any season, Goldsmiths has the finest sporting and outdoor equipment and clothing to meet the challenge. The largest selection and best prices on quality footwear by Nike, New Balance, and Tiger. Baseball and softball equipment, and an assortment of inflatable balls, outdoor games, water skis, volleyball sets, badminton, and more. Look no further than Goldsmith Sporting Goods, Main Square Mall, Hogan Road, Bangor.
All right, let's take a look and see how Bangor West got to this state championship game. First in the playoffs, they down Millinocket by a score of 17-5. Mike Pelkey getting the win. They came back with a 9-2 victory over Brewer behind the pitching of Matt Kinney. Then a tough 2-out-of-3 series with Hamden. Won the first game 10-8. And then in the second one, Matt Kinney started on the mound, got hurt, and Bangor ended up losing 9-2. Came back to beat Hamden 15-14 in dramatic fashion on a Ryan Arabino 2-out, 3-run homer with 2 strikes on him in the last of the 6th inning to beat Hamden and advance into the next round against Machias. That was the best 2-out-of-3, and Bangor West coasted through that one, winning 17-5 and 12-2, and that earned them a berth in the state championship round, where they opened up yesterday with a 9-4 win over Lewiston. Matt Kinney, the winning pitcher in that one, couple of home runs in the ball game, one by Ryan Arabino, a grand slam, and the other by Nick Traskus. And so Bangor with one loss along the way. York, by the way, is undefeated in their trip to this state championship game.
They are 6-0, and the thing is, as you mentioned, Rich, that Arabino home run, no one on Bangor West will tell you anything different. That was a dramatic home run which kept them alive.
They don't get much bigger than that. 3-run homer, down by 2 runs. Last of the 6th inning and 2 strikes on you.
Well, speaking of getting big, they don't grow them much bigger at 12 years old than Owen King. This is Stephen King's son. He's their first baseman. The pitch is inside, and the count goes to 1-1. Bottom of the 2nd inning, York scored in the top half. It's 1-0 York. Interesting thing about Owen King, he was not a starter for this team when the All-Star play started about a month ago, but he has worked hard, practiced hard, and learned a lot in the last month or so to earn a starting spot. He also pitches for Bangor.
And got a win in the game that earned Bangor West a berth in the state championship. 3-1.
3-1 count now, okay, on Owen King as Tarbox begins his 2nd inning of pitching. He struck out the side while walking 2 in the 1st inning. There's a swing and a miss. Looked like Owen just could not catch up with that fastball, and the count goes full. Remember, as we told you, Tarbox in tournament action has averaged about 12 strikeouts a game. Oh, it hits him, and he goes down. Right on the shoulder blade, I believe.
Fastball, and boy, it looked like it struck him right underneath the shoulder there, up a little bit in the back underneath the armpit there. My gosh, that was a hard pitch, too.
Neil Waterman out there quickly, the Bangor coach, one of the Bangor coaches, to check on him. And he's going to be a big kid. I think he'll hang in there.
Oh, it's a big guy, but I don't care how big you are. That one hurts.
Well, keep in mind, folks, that pitching mound is 46 feet, so you don't have a lot of time to react.
Now, in Little League Baseball, you can make a substitution. You can bring someone in and then have your starter re-enter the game.
And let's see if that happens here. And as they get him to test that shoulder blade just a little bit. I remember getting hit in Little League, and it hurts. It just downright hurts. But he's going to get up, he's going to shake it off, and we are going to have a pinch runner.
Now batting number 10, right fielder, on 4.
No, King's all right. He'll stay in there.
Okay. They just sent a base coach out. I thought he was going to take his place, but King will stay there. And that'll send up to the place Arnold Dorr. He wants to drop down the bunt, instead pops it behind the backstop. Dorr is the right fielder for Bangor. Made an outstanding leaping catch in the semifinals against Yarmouth on yesterday afternoon. He'll swing and miss as they took the bunt off that time, and the count goes 0-2. Nobody out. Runner on first for Bangor. York leads the game 1-0. That pitch goes high as Tarbox wasted that one. It goes to 1-2. Arthur Dorr says his favorite player is Nick Asaski. And the way he's playing lately, I don't blame you, Art. There's a shot that goes into the gap, and it won't be played out there. Into the gap it goes. King will go to third, and Dorr has himself a double. And now King slips down, and he's tagged out. As the footing came into play there, as King rounded third, tried to get back to the bag, and just simply could not. And the pitcher, Tarbox, wound up cutting off the play and tagged him out.
Pitch a little bit high, but boy, Dorr got out and got it right over the right fielder's head. I don't think they expected him to hit the ball that hard. It dropped in. Dorr raced all the way around with the double, and it would have been a golden opportunity for Bangor, but King slipped going around third. And now, with a man on second base, there's one out.
And up to the plate for Bangor is Mike Arnold, the little second baseman for Bangor West. He swings and misses on it, and the count goes 1-1. A big play for York. It could be runners on second and third with one out. Instead, runner on second base with two out. Gets around a little bit late on that high fastball, and the count is 1-2 on Arnold. Dorr went 2 for 3 in the semifinals. Nice little gapper there, so he's had an outstanding tournament here. There's the pitch. He didn't mean to swing it. No foul, and Arnold with a little excuse me swing, and the count goes 1-2.
That would have been one of the best hits of my career right there.
Oh, it's great to look at these little leaguers, and no salaries being paid here. It's all volunteer and all baseball the way it was meant to be played, right?
Yeah, for the fun of it. That's the way it ought to be. And, you know, we've talked about this several times. The coaches get excited, the parents get excited, and the kids are excited too, but they're having fun. They're still enjoying it, and win or lose, these guys are having a great time just being in a state championship game.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, strike 3, and that is it for Arnold, and that's, I take that back, that's only 2 out. I got ahead of myself.
Tarbox really fired that one in a tough place for the guy to hit. Arnold inside and high, had no chance on that one, and it's yet another strikeout, the 4th for Phil Tarbox.
Now Joey Wilcox, Bangor's catcher, takes the first pitch high. 2 out now for Bangor with a runner on second. It's Arnold Dorr. Outside, and it'll go to 1-1. Throw back down to second, and Dorr gets back in safely. 1-0, York has the lead, the bottom of the second inning. Remember, it's a 6-inning game.
Wilcox has done a nice job for Bangor West. He's not a catcher. During the season, he was an infielder.
Oh, and he is hit right on the shoulder, I think. And he is hurt. And again, the medics and the coaches run out to make sure he's going to be okay. It definitely stings, as Tarbox has now hit 2 batters here in the second inning.
That's in a vulnerable place to be hit, too. It looks like it got him either in the forearm or maybe on the elbow. Like it might got him on that inside right elbow as he tried to get out of the way. But as you said, 46 feet away, Tarbox throws pretty hard. That's tough to get out of the way. You know, we were talking to Chuck Bittner, too, before the game, and he says that Tarbox is the type of pitcher who likes to work the inside of the plate, mix it up inside and outside, and that one was there, but it gets there in such a hurry that Wilcox just didn't have a chance to try to get those arms up.
And I think that he will stay in the game. They give him a little ice to put on it. Half his uniform is wet because of being on the ground there. But he wants to stay in the game. And so that'll put runners at first and second for Bangor, and Phil Tarbox with a little bit of concern, I think, because he has thrown 42 pitches in 2 innings. Wow. How about that?
Well, they only play 6 innings, but if you want to relate it to the major leagues, project that over 9 innings, you're throwing 360 pitches.
Wow.
That's now, occasionally Joe Morgan has let Clemens throw 360,
right.
But most pitchers won't do that.
And meanwhile, they continue to put a little more ice, make sure that Wilcox is okay. He wants to stay in there. I don't doubt that for a minute. And so Arnold Dorr sits on second base. Joe Wilcox on first, 2 out for Bangor. And we go back to the top of the order with Nick Traskis. There's a strike on Nick. He struck out the first time at bat. In fact, Tarbox struck out the side in the first inning. No.
Well, one thing that you notice, though, with Traskis, after watching 2 teammates get hit, you watch his front foot, and a couple of those first 2 pitches, he's kind of easing that front foot back.
Pitch is high, and I think Tarbox is definitely struggling a little bit with that control. There's no question about that. You can see him on the mound there now trying to gather his thoughts. That's a good move on his part, I think, to just think about things for a moment.
Well, I'm sure it bothers him that he's hit a couple of guys, too, and he's probably worried now about bringing it inside.
2 on, 2 out for Bangor. The pitch is called a strike, and the count goes to 2-2. York with the 1-0 lead. They get it on an infield hit in the bottom half of the top half of the second inning of play. Outside and low, and the count is full. And now Tarbox is 1 pitch away from loading the bases.
And he doesn't want to load him with Ryan Arabino on deck.
He is Bangor's big stick, so this is an important pitch. Here it is, 3-2, strike 3. Tarbox gets him and gets 2 Ks in that inning. He's got 5 now after 2 innings of play. And so we've completed 2 here at the Knights of Columbus Field. Our score is York 1 and Bangor West 0.
You're invited to the Bangor State Fair's 140th Birthday Bash, Sunday, August 6th, starting at 12 noon. Entertainment all day, featuring Tim Sample and a spectacular fireworks show at 10 p.m. James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
We know when you build, you're building more than it may seem. You're building bigger hopes and plans and building lifelong dreams. To know the how and what and why, you want the very best. You want the trained professionals at EBS. Make EBS your partner today. We know that you've been looking for a better way at EBS. We hear what you say, we make everyday living better. Every day, expect the best from EBS.
It's too late for this child. Put yours and yourself in a life jacket. A message from this station and the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife.
You're watching WLBZ Channel 2 Bangor, W57AQ Channel 57 Calais, and W04AK Channel 4 Waterville.
And we're back at Knights of Columbus Field in Old Town, the State Little League Championship on the line. 1-0, York in the lead. Let's take a look at how York got to this championship game. First of all, in their district playoffs, a 12-7 win over Merrimont. Came back to beat Shaker Valley 7-0. An 8-6 win over Saco. Beat East Biddeford 10-5 and then 6-4 in a 2-out-of-3 series. And then a victory over Yarmouth in the semifinal round of this state tournament, 9-8. The final score, a wild game Thursday. They fell behind 2-0, came back, had a 5-2 lead after one, and then were behind later in the ball game 6-5, but ended up with a victory. Ryan Fernald getting the win there. Phil Tarbox with 3 victories along the third baseline. Kevin Rochford did a nice job of charging in that time, but it is a little bit slick in places out there.
York scored a run in the top of the second inning on a little number to first base that couldn't be handled by anyone, and the runner scored from third, and that's been it so far. 1-0 York. That's fouled off, and the count quickly 0-2 on Bouchard. Roger Fisher, Bangor's pitcher.
Well, Fisher so far he has done the job you would like. He has not had a ball hit out of the infield on him.
Pitches from the stretch each time. By the way, there's the Ephus pitch, kind of, and it was he wasted that one. It goes to 1-2 now. By the way, Arnold says his favorite player is Will Clark, the natural. He's having an outstanding season for the San Francisco Giants. That one goes away, outside and low, and it's now 2-2.
Dan Bouchard catching today. He played second base in the semifinal game against Yarmouth.
There's an off-speed pitch that's popped out behind second base. Nice catch out there by Mike Arnold. Wow. Mike Arnold of Bangor with a great catch that would even impress the likes of Marty Barrett.
You better believe it, too. One of those tough plays in between the infield and the outfield. Arabino breaking in, but Arnold went back, and a lot of white showing on that one, but Mike Arnold hangs on in a big play. Momentum booster for the Bangor defense.
And now Justin Philbrick, York's shortstop, comes to plate with one out. He drills one down the third baseline, just foul. He got around on that pitch, and Philbrick got on a fielder's choice in the first inning of play, made it to second base on a wild pitch. Coach Chuck Bittner tells us that he's their second leading hitter behind Phil Tarbox. That one is in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch in the dirt, and it goes now 2-1 with one out here in the top of the third inning. Knights of Columbus Field, where a lot of folks have been here since Thursday, seen a lot of the action. While we have a moment, we ought to give credit to the other teams in this tournament. It was a 5-team field, the 5 district winners, besides the 2 you see here, Lewiston, Belfast, and Yarmouth. The other 3 teams won their districts. There's a shot to left field, and it cannot be handled out there by Traskus, and he'll throw it in, and it'll be a 2-base hit. And then it gets by. Will he go to third? Now they've got him hung up, and now they make it to third. As Philbrick gets all the way around to third base, as Bangor kind of threw behind the runner there.
Yeah, in that situation, when you've got the guy hung up, you want to try and throw ahead of him, and if you have to, run him back, force him back to the base he came from. Boy, a hard hit ball. Traskus came in on it. Might have fooled him just a little bit. Didn't know whether to try and catch it in the air or pick it up on the bounce, and it got by him. Did a nice job of recovering in the slippery outfield, got it back in. And then Bangor misplayed things just a bit in the infield and allows him to get over to third base.
And with one out, Phil Tarbox, the best hitter for York, comes to plate. With the runner on third base, he takes that first pitch outside. Tarbox, the pitcher, struck out his first time, but he is an outstanding young hitter. Fisher looks in and throws it outside again for a 2-0 count. You've got to be careful with Tarbox.
And a lot of pressure right now, too, on your pitcher and your catcher. You don't want a pass ball or a wild pitch at this point in the ball game.
That's Philbrick on third, and now Tarbox lines it for a base hit to left field, and York has a 2-0 lead. The ball skips behind the fielder, and on his way to third goes Tarbox, and he makes it safely. Now the throw goes wild. Will he try to break for the plate? Yes. And now they credit him home as he gets through on the overthrow. So we'll wait to see how they score it, but it means 2 more runs for York.
Likely going to be a double and a throwing error, I would think.
And all of a sudden, York opens up a 3-0 lead.
Good shot by Tarbox into the outfield, and watch the Bangor West outfielders slip around out there. First going for the ball, and then Arabino trying to catch up with it. It is a little bit slick out there. A 2-base hit, an error, and all of a sudden it's a 3-0 lead for York.
Pat Hutchins takes one in the dirt. He's the cleanup hitter and the center fielder for York. I'll tell you, Tarbox really hit that ball hard, and here's how the play ended.
The throw came into third, and then it just got loose. Tarbox hung up there for a moment. I believe the ball went out of play.
Yes, it did.
And that's why he ended up walking home.
There's a pop fly down the left field line, and Rochefort and Traskus go after it, but nobody can get to it. It's a foul ball. Count goes to 0-2.
An unusual situation for York, as Chuck Bittner was telling us during the playoffs. So most of their games, they've had to come from behind.
They say the count is 1-1 now on Hutchins. Fisher delivers, and he gets that off the fists, and it is a fair ball, base hit. He'll take a wide turn at first and then scamper back. And so York has got the bat around on Fisher for their 3rd straight hit. It's still just 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning.
What a good shot just inside that line. Umpire signaling fair, and Traskus was trying to signal for a foul ball. It's a base hit, though, the 3rd straight for York, as Hutchins reaches after the Tarbox run-scoring hit. And now Dave Mansfield, the Bangor West coach, wants to talk with his pitcher, Roger Fisher.
Good idea at this point, I think, just to give him a few words of encouragement and tell him that's all right. We're down 3-0. We'll come back. And remember, they're 11 and 12-year-olds. And they're going to make some mistakes. There's no question about that. But the last 3 batters have just stung the ball against Fisher. No doubt about that. They did to get some extra bases on some overthrows. But right now, York has a 3-0 lead with 1 out in the 3rd inning of play. Up to the plate now for York is Randy Estes. He drew a walk his first time up. He'll pop it up, and it'll go foul. No one can quite get to it. Fisher and the catcher, Wilcox, tried to get to it, but couldn't.
Estes was thrown out after a pass ball, and nice play by Joe Wilcox back in the 2nd inning.
We've got the ruling, by the way, on that first run from York. They credited it with a base hit and then an error to allow that first run to score. That was the play of the little blooper down the first baseline to give York that 1-0 lead in the 2nd inning. Now the count goes 1-1 on Andy Estes, the left fielder for York.
So 2 of those York runs are unearned.
There's the pitch that goes inside and is now 2-1 as Roger Fisher has also thrown a lot of pitches for Bangor here in the early stages.
This is the point where, if necessary, you use everybody on the team.
There's a shot to left field. It is deep, but it is caught out there by Nick Traskus, and he quickly gets it back in. 2 out. Good bat on the ball by Estes. He flies to left field.
Yeah, well hit ball that time by Andy Estes. Boy, you like that. A nice swing. Went down and got the pitch. Fairly deep out there, but Traskus got the beat on it and hauled it in. And there are 2 outs now for York.
And big Matt Hoyt comes to the plate for York. With a runner on first base, 3-0 York in the lead, top of the 3rd inning. He'll swing and chop one to second. Arnold with it. He'll flip to second nicely, and that's the end of the inning. So York comes up with a couple of runs, 3 runs, 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave a man aboard. And after 2.5 innings of play, our score is York 3 and Bangor West 0.
The smartest ideas on campus began on the shelves of your hometown True Value hardware store, where this classic gooseneck lamp from Tensor is only $9.99. Then decorate with Tucker storage crates in great-looking colors, just $2.99 each. This Remington Fuzz-Away shaver, only $5.99, can make shirts and sweaters look like new. And protect your gear with this tough True Guard combination lock, just $1.49 at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Have some fun, 'cause we're going to Magic Mountain. Gonna ride the wild slide that mountain's Magic Mountain. There's water and waves, and we're gonna have fun this summer. It's the newest thing around, and we're gonna go to Magic Mountain.
Next to Magnetic Hill, Moncton, New Brunswick.
Tissue has a special kind of softness that comes from 2 sheets being quilted together. And quilting makes a difference you can feel. Northern, quilted for a special kind of softness.
All right, welcome back to the Knights of Columbus Field in Old Town. As you look at some of the crowd on hand, and the crowd is filtered in very nicely. I'd say we have, well, 200 or 300 maybe on hand. We want to remind you that... oh, no, look at that.
Where do they find those people? I'll tell you.
Okay, question is, who are those guys?
That's Jose Canseco on the left. This would be... no, that's not Dale Duff in the middle, is it?
That's McGuire, Mark McGuire. And Bill Green. It's about 20 years ago for all of us, right?
Yeah, you know, neither Bill or I grew into our ears until we were about 26. Right. Oh, nice glasses, though, Dale. You look good back then.
Thanks, and that little buzz cut there, that's back in style now.
That's right. We had crew cuts when crew cuts weren't cool.
That's right. The thing is, and we were looking through some of the old pictures and had to find some of the stuff we had, and that newspaper clipping that I had from one All-Star game, and I'm taking a swing up there, and it says in the caption, Dale Duff takes a healthy cut but misses.
But misses.
All right, we begin the bottom half of inning number 3, and Ryan Arabino comes to the plate for Bangor. Bangor trailing York 3-0. If they're going to win this thing, they're going to have to do it in come-from-behind fashion. Phil Tarbox throws inside, and the best Arabino could do was foul that one off, and the count goes to 1-1. Arabino, definitely Bangor's best hitter, and Tarbox has walked some guys. He hit 2 batters, has been in and out of trouble, but when he's needed the strikeouts, he has gotten them so far. Arabino thought maybe he might swing at that, decided not to. Now 2-1.
5 strikeouts over the first 2 innings for Phil Tarbox.
Ooh, and he gets hit by the pitch. He gets hit right on the shoulder blade as well, as Tarbox is definitely trying to find that plate, as he is up and in frequently, and this one is right off the shoulder again.
Yes, same spot. Arabino did a nice job of getting out of the way, just turning that front shoulder, but it's still caught enough of him, and that is the 3rd hit batsman here, only in the 3rd inning. And now Tarbox will go over and have a word with Coach Chuck Bittner. Trying to work it inside. That one looked like it tailed a little bit on Tarbox. You know he's not doing it on purpose, trying to work it inside if he can. But that ball tailed on him quite a bit.
So he's hit 3 batters, he's walked 2 batters, and he has struck out 5. So it's been feast or famine so far.
And the fielders haven't had much to do out there so far.
And you wonder if that'll come into play if Bangor eventually gets the bat on the ball here and makes them do something. We'll see. Right now, York has a 3-0 lead, and Matt Kinney steps to the plate. It gets away from the catcher, and Arabino is quickly down to second. Boy, that throw got down there in a hurry as well. Well, I'll tell you, Dan Bouchard threw a rocket down there. Arabino was in safely, but you got a chance to see the arm of Bouchard.
Remember that the runners can't go until the ball gets past the batter, or until contact is made.
Count now 2-0 on Matt Kinney.
Kinney, the winning pitcher yesterday in Bangor's win over Lewiston.
The 2-0 pitch. That's high and inside as Tarbox continues to struggle to find the strike zone. It's 3-0, and he is 1 pitch away from putting a couple of guys on with nobody out. A long way to go in this one. It's the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's a 6-inning affair. That's called a strike as he faked the bunt and pulled it back, but that was over the plate on the outside corner.
Well, if Tarbox should get in trouble, Coach Bittner's got a lot of people to call on. He told us what every player on his team, but one, I think, is a pitcher.
Yeah. He says they all want to pitch, too. That one is fouled back by Kinney, and quickly the count goes full at 3-2. Arabino on second. Hit by pitch, and then a pass ball gets him to second base with nobody out. Phil Tarbox on the hill for York. He'll throw it. That's high. Ball 4, and Bangor has itself a rally. Runners on first and second base with nobody out, and it'll bring their cleanup hitter, Kevin Rochefort, to the plate.
Well, a good opportunity for Bangor. Last inning, they had men on second and third briefly when King got tripped up on the wet grass there. Now, with nobody out, a great chance for Bangor.
That's a pitch high as he brings the bat back on the bunt attempt. The pitch went high. There's no doubt about it. Even trailing 3-0, Bangor wants to make something happen, and I am not going to be surprised to see him bunt all the way through 2 strikes.
He's a pretty good bunter.
He takes that one for a strike on the outside corner. Now 1-1.
York has a play on. The third baseman is charging. The shortstop will cover the bag on anything down the third baseline. Probably have the pitcher pick up anything hit to the first base side.
No, that's inside, and the count goes to 2-1. Bangor has threatened in every inning, but has not, as of yet, capitalized.
And they have yet to get a base hit. Matter of fact, they have yet to hit. Oh, no, they have 1 base hit by Dorr, but that's the only fair ball that they've hit today.
That pitch is low, and all of a sudden, he is 3-1 and in danger of putting the bases loaded. Takes a deep breath on the mound. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. The bunt is still on. That one is high, and the bases are now jammed for Bangor. Bases loaded, and Roger Fisher, Bangor's pitcher, is up, and he has a chance to help his own cause, but first another conference at the Hill.
Yeah, this is Bob Tarbox, the assistant coach, talking to his son, Phil. The rule is, talk to the umpires before the game. They can make 4 trips to the mound during the course of the game, but only 3 with any one pitcher. So the next time that they go to the mound to talk with Tarbox, he'll have to come out.
Meanwhile, Neil Waterman has a word with Roger Fisher, who's waiting to bat. And this is a very, very key moment in the ballgame. York has a 3-0 lead. Bangor has threatened the previous 2 innings. They now have the bases loaded with nobody out. Let's see what unfolds.
Fisher at the plate missed the second half of the season last year. He got hit in the chest with a line drive and couldn't play the last part of the year.
The pitch is high and inside, and Tarbox continues to struggle to find the plate. Interesting that he has 5 strikeouts, but has walked 4 people now, hit 3 batters. There's a swing and a miss by Fisher, and the count is now 1-1. Nobody out, bottom of the 3rd inning. That's Ryan Arabino on third. There's a shot that is fouled back onto the screen as he got around on that pitch, and the count goes now to 1-2. Fisher trying to help his own cause. Inside and high, now 2-2. And we mentioned that Tarbox had thrown 42 pitches in the second inning. He's thrown a lot of them here. Well up over 60. That one is high.
Boy.
And it is now 3-2 and no place to put him.
Young man is struggling out there. He could help himself a lot right here if he can get a strikeout. He does not want the walk.
There's a grounder through the hole and a base hit. 1 run will score. They will send the second runner. No, they're going to hold him up, and now they've got him in a jam. They go back and forth, and he'll quickly get back in, and he's safe at third. So Bangor scores 1 run on the play to keep the bases loaded. And that was good work at third base by Matt Kinney.
Boy, it sure wasn't a nice piece of hitting, too, by Fisher on a 3-2 count. Low pitch and just bounced it. Went with the pitch onto the right side. Brings in the run, and I believe we're going to have a pitching change, too. A nice job by the defense, too, for York, as Kinney was trapped in that rundown. Now, they didn't get him out, but they did the next best thing and forced him to go back to third base.
And so the bases remain loaded with nobody out, and we will have a pitching change.
They're doing some shuffling around of positions here. Tarbox is going to the bench, and he may go into catch because Bouchard, I see, going over there as well. And we'll see what changes Chuck Bittner will make. His third appearance, third trip to the mound. And let's take another look at that big hit for Roger Fisher. Got that one on the ground right between first and second. Nothing the defense could do, but a good job of the right fielder that time as Matt Hoyt came up with it in a hurry and did what you have to do in Little League. Got the ball back into the infield and let them handle it. And then a nice job of keeping Kinney from coming in to score. Kinney was lucky, too. He nearly got himself trapped in a tough situation over there. Left-handed pitcher warming up.
And I believe that's first baseman, first baseman Matt Frankie, who's coming in. And you look at Tarbox, who threw a lot of pitches in a short period of time. Still nobody out here in the third inning of play.
And 1 run in for Bangor, 3-1, York lead in the state championship game.
Well, we thought that early in the game that we might have a low-scoring affair, but Tarbox in particular having trouble finding the plate, and the one thing you want at this level is to just get the ball over the plate, try to get the ball in play, and he was just unable to do that on this particular day.
Tarbox gave up only 2 hits, but he walked 4, hit 3 batters. All that to go with his 5 strikeouts. As Neil Waterman talks to the big man coming up with the bases full, Owen King, the Bangor West first baseman.
It's a 3-1 York lead. Let's go now to Bill Green. Bill? Okay, well, we'll get to Bill in just a moment, having an audio problem or two there, but we'll get back to Bill. Meanwhile, as Frankie gets ready to deliver, and Owen King will come up.
Dan Bouchard, I believe, will go out to second base. That's where he played yesterday. Tarbox goes into catch. And Matt Hoyt will move into first. So all kinds of defensive changes here. And on the mound is Matt Frankie. One of several guys on this team that can pitch. Hoyt goes into first. So the new battery, Frankie pitching, Tarbox catching, Bouchard goes out to second. And I want to check and see if Fernald, I believe, Fernald has moved out to right field to take Hoyt's spot, and now the base is full, and the pitch to Owen King.
And it's high and inside for ball 1. Bases loaded, nobody out for Bangor.
What a tough situation for Frankie to walk into.
It goes in the dirt, and Bangor will try. No, they decide not to make it. There's not much room behind the plate, and so you've got to have a great jump in order to try to score. And with nobody out, that's probably the smart play.
Yeah, it's a wise thing. In this situation, you got a good hitter at the plate. You know, Owen King, bases full, nobody out. You'll likely score him if he hits the ball.
The pitch is away, and the count moves now to 3-0 on King.
Keep him back in that circle. Make sure he stays there, not out here.
As York pitchers are having all kinds of trouble at the moment trying to find home plate. Bases are still loaded and nobody out. That's Matt Kinney on third base. 60 feet away from getting the second run for Bangor. The 3-0 pitch is taken. No way he was going to swing at that one. 3-1. Owen King, by the way, says his favorite baseball player is Dewey Evans.
Who's his favorite writer?
I wonder, huh? That's a little bit of a off-speed pitch there for the full count now on Owen King. Outside, ball 4. And another run for Bangor to make it 3-2. It comes on a ball 4 with the bases loaded.
Run batted in for Owen King.
You can feel the momentum shift here way in the favor of Bangor. It is now 3-2, and Matt Franke having the same problem as Tarbox had. There's a swing and a miss there by Arthur Dorr, who has Bangor's only hit of the day.
And Dorr with 3 hits so far in this state tournament.
He hit a gapper to right center in the first inning of play. Count now 1-1 on him. Remember, the base is still loaded and 1 out for Bangor. It's 3-2 York. We're in the bottom of the third inning. It's a 6-inning affair. There's a foul tip. Runners cannot advance, and so the count now moves to 1-2. Dale Duff, Rich Kimball, and Bill Green with you from the Knights of Columbus Field in Old Town. This is the state championship Little League All-Star game. The winner goes to the regional in Connecticut. The 1-2 pitch is high and wide, and it now moves to 2-2. There's a pitch that nicely catches the outside corner in the count. He's out of there. Strike 3. All right. And so that's 2 out now for Bangor. Only 1 out. I beg your pardon. 1 out. There's a foul ball coming our way. Duck. hits on the rooftop.
That's why they put those things here. They know we can't catch.
That is Mike Arnold stepping to the plate and fouling that first pitch off our way.
That's a big strikeout, too, for Franke to get that. You need that 1 out. That helps him out a little bit now. He's in a situation where he at least sees some light at the end of the tunnel.
Bases still loaded. It's a 3-2 score. York in front. That pitch is outside and goes to 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And all of a sudden, Franke looks like he has found the plate nicely.
What's amazing what 1 strikeout will do for your confidence, too, as a young pitcher.
There's a shot that goes to the second baseman. He'll come make the play himself. And the run will score for Bangor, and we've got a brand new game tied at 3. The play was made by
Dan Bouchard.
Dan Bouchard, who is now the second baseman, as the first baseman got caught out of position, so he made the play, quickly got over to first base, but a run scores for Bangor, and it was scored by Kevin Rocheford, and it's a 3-3 game.
A big play, too, for Bouchard, because if the ball was hit fairly slowly, and with that wet grass in the outfield, if that had gone through, probably would have brought home another run for Bangor. So a tie game, but now there are 2 outs.
And Joe Wilcox at the plate for Bangor. He takes the pitch outside. 2 out now, runners at second and third. Owen King at second base, and Roger Fisher at third. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. 3-3, our score. In case you're just joining us, York scored first. Bangor has come back here with 3 in the third. That pitch is inside, gets away. He will try to score, and he does. Roger Fisher slides in under the tag, and Bangor has grabbed the lead.
Ball got away for the catcher, Tarbox, and hustling down from third base was Roger Fisher with the go-ahead run for Bangor West. Also moving over to third on the pitch was Owen King.
And the count goes 2-1 on Wilcox, and that one won't find the plate either, and it's now 3-1. Bangor has a hits batsman, 2 walks, a base hit, another walk, and then a fielder's choice, and they have scored four times here in the inning, and now Wilcox draws what is now the third walk of the inning. Fourth walk. I was right the first inning.
4 walks and a hit batsman this inning. Well, this is Little League Baseball, part of it too. They've scored 4 runs on 1 base hit.
And let's also remember that the teams have been here a lot. They've played a lot of games, maybe a little bit tired, and I don't blame them if they are. They were standing around a lot.
Yeah, that waiting around had to be a big factor, too.
We go back to the top of the order now for Bangor. Nick Traskus comes up. He's the 9th man in the inning. Runners at first and third for Bangor, 2 out. That pitch is high and outside. The count goes 2-0 on Traskus. He has struck out both times so far in the game. Led off the semifinal game yesterday with a home run. He swings and misses, and it's now 2-1. Bangor has scored 4 times here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. It's 4-3 Bangor over York at the moment. That pitch is high, and the count goes to 3-1. Of loading the bases one more time, and that one catches the corner. Looked like a bit of a breaking pitch, and the count goes full with 2 out.
Well, those left-handers, they have that natural break sometimes.
I hated facing left-handers. I don't know why. The ball naturally moves, and even as a right-handed batter, I hated that. That one is inside, and the bases are jammed again for Bangor. That's Owen King on third. Wilcox is at second, and now Traskus trots down to first, and Mr. Arabino is at the plate. Same situation as yesterday.
15 home runs so far this season for Arabino.
He takes a strike in, 2 out in the bottom of the 3rd. Bangor has got the man they want up with 3 men on. That pitch is outside. Count goes to 1-1.
It ages me to see Arabino. I played ball with his father, Rick, and his grandfather, Jack, was our coach.
You are old.
I feel it.
There's a strike on the outside corner, and the count is now 1. Arabino looks very confident up there. He's waiting for a pitch that he can handle, and you get the feeling that if he can get it, he can drive it somewhere. Let's see what happens. 2-1 pitch, bases loaded for Bangor. High, count goes 3-1. No place to put him. Bangor has already scored 4 times in this inning. That one is outside, ball 4, and another Bangor run. Owen King comes in to tap the plate, and Bangor now suddenly has a 5-3 lead.
And that's the 6th walk that York has given up this inning.
And now Tarbox and Frankie have a discussion at the mound. Tarbox knows all about it. He walked a lot of them here and tries to get some advice out to his lefty. That pitch way outside of the strike zone, and there's a pitch that's swung on and missed by Matt Kinney, who is up for the 2nd time in the inning. He started everything in this 3rd inning with a walk. He is the 10th man to bat in the inning for Bangor. They have scored 5 times, so just about half of the guys that have come up to the plate for Bangor in this 3rd have scored. That pitch is fouled back onto the screen. It is 1-2 now. It is important for York, I think, at this point to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, if they can get out of it here, they're in pretty good shape. And in Little League, anything can happen. They had a 3-0 lead, and we're looking strong. Tarbox had struck out 5 in the first 2 innings, and things can happen in a hurry.
The 1-2 pitch from Frankie is swung on. It's hit to the first baseman. He'll come home with the play, and he is safe. I got him in time. I take that back. The force play was in at the plate, and he got him in time. Now, nice play by the first baseman, Matt Hoyt, to get out of this inning. But not before Bangor has scored 5 runs on 1 hit. They leave the bases loaded, and at the end of 3 innings, we're halfway through this game. Bangor has a 5-3 lead over York.
they go for a Clemens.
Gee, Bud, baseball cards are bigger than ever.
Yeah, and now there's the Nissan Superstar set.
Stars like Mike Greenwell, Earl Hershiser, and Frank Viola. Look for a free card in every loaf of Nissan white bread.
Thanks. Hey, Bobby, what do you give me for a Ted Williams?
A broken bat, maybe.
Get out of here. Collect all 20 Nissan Superstar cards.
It's fun.
Teamwork leads to success in athletics as well as in affordable insurance coverage. The Bradford Agency in Orono is a successful independent insurance agency that works hard with the companies it represents, like the Middlesex Mutual Assurance Company. Together, they provide top quality personal and small business insurance, creating policies you can win with. The Bradford Agency and their representative companies. Their integrity and service make a winning combination. The Bradford Agency, Orono.
The James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
Hello, Margaret here. When I'm hunting for quality doors and windows, I head for Fred Hallett's in Howland. Oh, Bangor! Woo!
Hi, Hallett's Handyman here. Look no further than Fred Hallett's for doors and windows at terrific prices. Fred Hallett's features the best Peachtree and Lockwood have to offer. And our experienced staff will help you select the best for your home.
When you're hunting for great savings on doors and windows, discover Fred Hallett's in Howland and now in Bangor. The hunt ends at Hallett's. Woo!
I'm with Paul and Peggy Philbrook, parents of the shortstop of the York team. Tough inning, Paul.
Yeah, pitching got in a little trouble. Got walked too many people. A clutch hit.
But you've come from behind every game this year. Now, emotionally, are you more into the game now? Are you more relaxed than you were in the first inning, Peggy?
I'm more relaxed.
Okay, let's see if the York team is too. Dale and Rich?
Bill, thanks very much. I don't know. There's
relaxed parents, boy.
5-3, Bangor scoring 5 times on 6 walks, a hit batsman, and just 1 hit. But they have scored 5 times. All right, we begin the second half of action here. We've completed 3. Rich Kimball takes over with the play-by-play. Rich?
All right, Dale, and as we start the 4th inning, Ryan Fernald will come to the plate. Fernald started the ball game as the second baseman out in right field now as Roger Fisher, the Bangor pitcher, working with a lead for the first time today. Bangor up on top. 5-3, a 6-inning game. Bangor, the home team in this State Little League All-Star Championship game. The pitch swung on and missed.
And what's the most important thing after scoring 5 runs in the last inning? You try to hold down the fort if you're Bangor.
Fernald walked the first time, behind in the count here. 0-1. And a second pitch fouled back and out of play. It's an 0-2 count to Ryan Fernald. He was the winning pitcher in the semifinal game, a 9-8 York victory over Yarmouth. Fernald and Tarbox, who started this game, are kind of co-number 1 pitchers. Their coach, Chuck Bittner, said not much to choose from between the two. They're pretty even. 0-2 pitch down and away. Good waste that time by Roger Fisher. And the count goes to 1-2.
That was the thing that everybody was talking about in the York game against Yarmouth. They were saying that they were really holding their number 1 pitcher until this game. But Tarbox struggled today.
Another one fouled back. Count holds at 1-2. Bottom third of the order, up 7, 8, and 9 hitters for York here in the top of the 4th. York got a run in the second inning on a base hit and an error. Came up with 2 runs in the top of the 3rd, but Bangor with 5 runs with just 1 base hit in the bottom of the last inning. The 1-2 pitch from Fisher. Misses outside. Count even up at 2-2, and Bill Green joins us.
Just a point, I asked Bob Stevenson what happens if there's a rainout, and he says if they play 3.5, it counts. So if Bangor West can shut them down, it rains, they get an awfully easy trip. I'm not wishing that is what would happen.
2-2 pitch, and Fernald looks at strike 3 from Roger Fisher. And a big play for Bangor West to start this top of the 4th inning. Boy, good looking pitch. A little break, caught the outside corner.
Boy, that's just what the doctor ordered if you're Roger Fisher to get that first guy down. I look out at the field and notice all the flags. Got the old Stars and Stripes and the Maine flag and some of the Old Town flags from their Little League championships. Everything is blowing straight out. So that'll be interesting to see if anybody can take anything deep here this afternoon.
Third baseman Josh Wyatt at the plate gets hits. Caught him right in the middle of the back, just above the number that time. And we have seen a bunch of hit batsmen so far today. That one stung a little bit, right between, I believe, right between the shoulder blades. And assistant coach Bobby Tarbox working it out. Wyatt's a tough kid. He's had a tough tournament too. He hurt his knee in the first inning of the game with Yarmouth on Thursday.
Yeah, had to come out of the game.
Yep. Said the knee was all right today, and boy, now he gets bopped in the middle of the back. Right on the number. That has to sting right
But
there.
he got that shoulder in and turned that way, which is what you want to do. Look at it right there.
Yow. There's not a lot of flesh there protecting you, though. That has to.
Ow, look at him jump in the air. I'm not laughing. It's just kind of, that hurts. Some Bangor batters can attest to that, but he is okay. Like the others, he's a trooper and trots down the first base. All right.
Wyatt, the hit batsman, hits to first, and so with one out, this will bring up the number 9 hitter. First baseman, Matt Frankie. Frankie reached or grounded into a fielder's choice first time around to end inning number 2. And the pitch from Fisher swung on and missed. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Not in time. Is sliding in safely with the stolen bases. Wyatt, he says, hey, my back's not bothering me enough to keep me on first base. That was a pretty good throw, too, from Wilcox.
And aggressive baseball by York, down 2 runs, and saying, hey, we're going to get right back in this thing. We're going to try a steal. Very aggressive.
Fisher gets the sign and delivers. Up high. Misses for ball 1, count even. At 1-1, Bangor leading 5-3, top of the 4th inning. And a runner on second base with 1 out. At the plate, first baseman, Matt Frankie. Frankie, of course, now is the pitcher in there. 2-1 count. Came in relief of Tarbox. Got in trouble with 3 hit batsmen and 4 walks. 2-1. And Fisher misses outside and gets way behind now. 3-1, the count to Frankie with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Now Matt Kinney comes in with a few words for Fisher there from his shortstop position.
Frankie and I share our favorite player, Dwight Evans. My favorite Red Sox player, too.
Favorite ever or just favorite today?
My favorite today.
I like Marty Barrett. Let's put it this way. I like the way he plays. I like Dwight Evans. He's a consummate professional.
Fisher looking to avoid trouble here. The 3-1 pitch misses. It's ball 4, and that'll put runners on first and second base with 1 out in the top of the order coming up for York. And again, to reiterate what Bill Green said, this becomes an official ball game at the end of this half inning.
It surprises me that in a state championship game they don't have to complete the entire game. But
and now Bangor coach David Mansfield wants a timeout. He'll talk to Roger Fisher. This is his second conference. Again, they get 4, but only 3 with any given pitcher. So if he has to come out again and talk to Fisher, then Roger will be gone. Joe Wilcox listening in. 4 strikeouts and 4 walks, and he has allowed, I believe, 4 base hits too. Fisher has been a great utility guy for Bangor this year. Played shortstop for the first time yesterday and started a game-ending double play.
Very nicely done yesterday.
Got the call on the mound. Pitch to the leadoff man, Bouchard. Grounded foul. Nice diving try that time by the third baseman over there, and that is Kevin Rochford. But it is strike 1 nonetheless.
Winner of this game goes to Bristol, Connecticut. The regional tournament starts a week from Monday. The winner of that tournament goes to Williamsport for the granddaddy of Little League.
Long fly ball will go foul out into the trees.
Hey, that area is familiar. Remember that?
Yeah, all too well. In our little pickup game, just to make sure the field was in order the other day. We had quite a game. Randy Rand, the tournament director, and little old me against you and Stephen King and Owen King. I hit a lot of foul balls. They didn't like me.
You did. We had to go chase them. We had to introduced that old rule, you hit it, you chase it.
Pitch nearly gets away. A good stop by Joe Wilcox that time to keep the ball from going all the way to the backstop. 2-2 the count with one out. Runners on first and second. Bangor 5, York 3. In the top half of the fourth inning, Rich Kimball, Dale Duff, and Bill Green at Knights of Columbus Field at Old Town. Game originally scheduled for 12:30. We had some delays, but lots of work done in the field, and happy to be playing baseball. 2-2 pitch, grounded hard into left field for a base hit. Traskus up with it quickly, gets it in, and they'll hold the runner at third base. A good job that time by Traskus as he hustled in, tossed to Roachford, and that'll load up the bases with one out. And Justin Philbrick coming to the plate.
There it is. It's right in the shortstop hole. No way the shortstop, Matt Kinney, was going to get to that. And Traskus did a nice job to keep that runner from advancing past third base. And so the bases are loaded now for York. And boy, Justin Philbrick is up.
Philbrick had a double his last time up. Hit the ball hard. Fisher's pitch, grounded hard down the third baseline and just foul.
Boy, that was close again. That's two shots down the line, and they're getting around on Roger Fisher, but around too much, I guess.
0-1, the bases full of York players.
Timeout on the field now is the first base umpire is hollering over something to the third base umpire. And now Dave Mansfield, Bangor's coach, wants to come out and talk again. And what's going to happen? Yeah, I think he's going to make a pitching change, isn't he? Has he got to?
I believe so. I'm not sure. That was the way the rule was explained to us, unless he has some kind of an injury.
Yeah, I wonder
or
if
an
he
equipment
has.
problem.
You know what? I think he may have a blister or something because they're looking at his hand. And that happens occasionally.
Yeah, on a
Let's
day
go
like
over
this,
to go over to Bill Green, who's standing by. Bill?
He's allowed 3 appearances in an inning or 4 in a game. You can take him any way you want. And they have now used 3, and before they went out, they wanted to check how many appearances he has made, and that's kept by the third base umpire. He said 2, now 3. Next appearance, he's gone. Owen King would pitch in a short relief appearance if they needed a third of an inning. They'd bring in the big guy to try to intimidate, or they'd go with Roachford as, you know, for a couple of innings would be the next guy. Owen King for maybe an out, or Roachford for a couple of innings.
Okay, first pitch to the number 2 hitter. Shortstop Justin Philbrick is up high for a ball. 1-0, bases full, 1 out. Fisher's pitch outside, hit high. King will catch it. Infield fly rule was in effect anyway, so he would have been out. Owen King made the catch, and there are 2 away.
Boy, that's a big play there for Bangor to get that second out, and now they can get a force at any base. As Philbrick is not too happy with himself there. He got the bat on the ball, but King was in position, the little soft liner, and he made the catch to make the second out for the York team.
Tough hitter at the plate, though. This is Phil Tarbox, 1 for 2 in the day. He doubled and scored last time. With the bases full here, 2 outs, top of the 4th. Pitch high and away. 1-0 the count. Tarbox, you remember, doubled. Just kept on running. He was not going to be stopped. The throw came in, went out of play, and he came in to score on the error, and he scored the 3rd run. York trailing Bangor 5-3.
And just like when Arabino was up for Bangor with the bases loaded, York has its best hitter up with the bases loaded. 77 pitches by Mr. Fisher so far. Wow. He may not make it through that whole game at that rate.
Pitch inside Tarbox, and that'll take the count to 2-0. Bases are loaded. Wyatt on third. Frankie at second. Bouchard at first. The 2-0 pitch. Hit. Fly ball left field. Traskus will come in. Got a beat on it. And he makes the catch. Boy, looked for a moment like he might slip and lose his footing, but he hung on, and a big defensive play by Nick Traskus, and Bangor gets out of the inning. No runs. Bases left full. 1 hits and no errors. After 3.5 innings, Bangor leading York 5-3.
For farm fresh milk, it's the Dairy by the Sea. It's Hancock County Creamery. Owned and operated by local Maine dairy farmers, Hancock County Creamery is wonderfully fresh milk, buttermilk, ice cream, and other dairy products. Young and Sassy is a special low-fat blend of milk, perfect for healthy growing bodies. With 30 flavors of ice cream, you'll make everyone happy. Creamium is Maine's own premium brand ice cream. Taste Maine's finest for yourself. So for milk and ice cream, it's the Dairy by the Sea. It's Hancock County Creamery.
The 3E Company has the resources to handle any electrical installation project of any size and scope. As one of Maine's outstanding electrical contractors, we have the knowledge and expertise to construct a reliable power system to suit your needs. Be assured that the 3E Company will pay close attention to every detail to ensure a successful electrical installation that will perform reliably for years. When it comes to your electrical installation, whatever the job requires, the 3E Company can do it right, on schedule and on budget.
The James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
You are watching WLBZ Channel 2 Bangor.
Okay, here's how that last half inning ended for York. The bases loaded, and the shot to left field. Nick Traskus comes in for Bangor, slips, and holds on for the catch.
But what a nice job he did, though. He made sure that the glove was in the middle of the body, so if he missed it, it'd bounce off him and not get to the ground. That was a nice play. What a good piece of pitching, too, by Fisher. Bases full. 1 out, and he's got the number 2 and 3 hitters coming up, and he managed to get out of the jam.
And I thought maybe Traskus was a little bit fooled on the swing. I know I was. I thought that thing may have had the room to get out of there because he took a wicked cut at it, and it looked like, but he got under it.
Yeah, he didn't miss by much, though. All right, we go to the bottom of the 4th. Bangor West leading York. Kevin Rochford, third baseman at the plate, looks at one outside from Matt Frankie, who came in relief of Tarbox and got the last 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Frankie working quickly. This one swung on a miss for a strike, 1-1.
And Bangor did what it had to do. It prevented the other team from scoring after it scored 5 runs.
This one a called strike catches the outside corner. Frankie gets ahead in the count 1-2. Bangor with all 5 of their runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning on just 1 base hit. But 6 walks and a hit batsman certainly helped the cause. This one fouled back right to the screen, still 1-2. And Mike Arnold right now is warming up on the sidelines for Bangor West. Fisher has thrown up over 80 pitches. And this one swung on a miss for strike 3, and Frankie gets the K, and there's one away here in the 4th inning.
Well, Frankie looks like, at least in the first batter, a different pitcher than when he did come in relief. As we mentioned at the time, it was a tough spot for him to be in there with not too many warm-ups.
And coming in with the bases loaded, pitcher Roger Fisher up to the plate now with 1 out. Rochford going down on strikes. Fisher in his 2 appearances today has 1 hit. Struck out his first time, singled, and drove in a run. Matter of fact, had the only hit back in that 3rd inning for Bangor. No balls, 2 strikes. Frankie's pitch down low in the dirt. Good pickup by Tarbox. 1-2. Or make it 3-0. Well, 3-0, 1-2. They're a lot alike. This one's in there for a called strike. Right hand, left hand. I'll get it right. Looking over the shoulder right now of Ken Parker, the home plate umpire for this state championship game. That one misses outside for ball 4. Fisher knew the count. He trots down to first. And with one out, Bangor West has another runner on as Owen King will step up to hit.
The 7th walk by York pitching today.
Owen King on the day has been hit and has walked. Fouls the first one. Oh, I thought that was a foul ball.
Wild pitch.
Wild pitch. Down to second base goes Fisher, one out, and a man in scoring position for Bangor. 1 for 3, King was in the semifinal winner for Lewiston as he looks at a ball. 2-0.
We talk about Owen being Stephen King's boy, and I'll tell you what, there's no greater baseball fan than Stephen King, huh? He just loves the game.
As Owen looks at ball 3, Stephen's been here at all the All-Star games, keeping score, was out here raking the field yesterday, trying to get things ready. Frankie now in a spot of trouble. Will get some help from King as he swings at a low pitch, and caught off second is Fisher. The throw down, he'll be safe as the ball gets loose from Dan Bouchard. I think that Fisher thought King would let that one go and thought about breaking for third base, but a nice job that time by Tarbox as the pitch was down in the dirt. He grabbed it, took a couple of steps and made a nice throw down that just got away from the second baseman, Dan Bouchard, and now Tarbox is straightening out some equipment at home plate. A 3-1 count on Owen King.
Tell you what, Tarbox has got a gun there for a catcher. I mean, he can throw the ball because he can pitch, but he is an outstanding arm there for a catcher. He can rifle that ball.
Here's the pitch from Frankie. Swung on a miss for strike 2. Or 3, that is. King goes down on strikes. And there are 2 away now for Bangor West. Here in inning number 4, the left-hander Frankie brought that one, and that dropped off a little bit for King, who strikes out for the first time today. And with 2 outs, this will bring up the right fielder, Arthur Dorr. This one hit to the right side and right to the first baseman. Is hauling that one in is big Matt Hoyt. And so Bangor gets a runner on, but they cannot score. In the bottom of the 4th, no runs, no hits, no York errors, and 1 runner left on. We've played 4 full innings in the State Little League Championship game, and it is Bangor West 5, York 3.
James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
At your local Chrysler dealer. The Hot Summertime Sell-a-thon. 6.9% financing on selected Chrysler cars. Up to $1,500 factory direct cash to you on other models. Plus no-cost air conditioning or automatic. And the longest warranty going. Hot deals, hot wheels. Hurry, 6.9% financing on selected Chrysler cars means cool savings. Don't miss Chrysler's Hot Summertime Sell-a-thon. Now, at your Maritime Chrysler dealers.
Black Bear football coming September 2nd only on Channel 2.
Fun, interesting view there. That's usually my view during the game. Right through the fence. Can I get a little closer, Coach? No. Shut up and keep score.
You did such a great job at that.
I did. It's haunted me all these days. Top of the 5th inning, and Roger Fisher's still out there for Bangor West. Mike Arnold was warming up between innings, but they'll stick with Fisher. He's done the job they've asked of him so far. Scattered 4 hits, struck out 5 along the way.
He's thrown over, 80 pitches now, and so I would suspect that the first sign of trouble, and we may have a change there, I would guess.
Center fielder Pat Hutchins will lead things off here in the top of the 5th inning. Reminder, it's a 6th inning ball game. 6 innings, and Hutchins up there, 1 for 2 in the day. He singled his last time up. First pitch is hit hard down the left field and out of play.
And again, not that it's threatening or anything at this stage, but it is an official game now.
Yes, it is.
It is does not feel like any rain. The wind is definitely blowing. It remains foggy and hazy, but certainly no rain at the moment. And we hope that it stays off for a while longer.
0-1 the count. This one right at the knees for strike 2. As Hutchins didn't quite believe it, but he'll accept it. Digs in at home plate. Put lots of dirt down there and some of the speedy dry to try and dry out that area around home plate, and they've done a pretty good job. 0-2 pitch from Roger Fisher. Misses. Way outside. Good stop by Joey Wilcox, and it's 1-2.
Looks calm and cool and collected there, doesn't he? Looks like a pitcher with a 5-3 lead. No problem, he says.
Working that gum hard. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Kenny is up with it. Over to King at first. And retired nicely. Hutchins goes out 6-3.
Well, here's the play. Matt Kinney nicely handling the ground ball. Remember, he was the pitcher for Bangor in the semifinals. Up he throws to Owen King, and he's out by at least a couple of running steps. Good play for Bangor.
And in Little League, in the infield, especially on the left side, short and third, you have to have a quick release.
Yes.
Because the ball, although it gets there in a hurry, remember, it's only 60 feet down those base paths. Andy Estes at the plate. He fouls the first one off. Estes today is 0 for 1 officially. He walked in the second inning, was thrown out trying to steal, and then flied to left field back in inning number 3. A couple of RBIs and 2 steals in a 1-for-1 performance in the semifinal win, 9-8 over Yarmouth. 0-1 the count to Estes. Fisher gets the sign and delivers. Long and foul down the left field line into those trees.
And you see Traskus put on the brakes there, skid along about 3 feet.
A little hydroplaning.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we talk a lot about the infield. The outfield handled the water very nicely. It is slippery out there. There's no question about it. But it was remarkably in good shape.
Yeah, for all the rain we've had, no standing water out there at all. 2-strike pitch gets away from Wilcox. And it's 1-2. Look at the mud on that helmet.
Most important thing so far here with that first batter and then with this batter for Fisher, I think, is he's gotten ahead of these guys, 0-2. And boy, at this stage with as many pitches as he has thrown, he wants to get ahead of those guys.
Well, that's so important, not just here, but at any level. If you can get ahead in the count, as anybody will tell you, boy, that helps a lot. 2 strikes, and here is number 3. As Fisher fires one past Andy Estes. He has not struck out many today, but they've been big ones. 2 outs, and that'll bring to the plate Matt Hoyt as Fisher just reared back and fired. Jammed him a little bit. 5th strikeout of the day. And 2 are out in the top of the 5th inning. Bangor West leading by a 5-3 score, and big Matt Hoyt, the first baseman, started the game in right field up there with that face guard attached to the helmet. First pitch is swung on and missed for a strike. Hoyt's 0 for 2 today, struck out in the second inning and was retired on a ground ball back in the second. 0 for 2 in the semifinal game. And the pitch from Fisher misses outside, 1-1.
Who's that guy in the big leagues that wears that face mask, something like, is it Don Slott?
Yeah, Slott got his face. Matter of fact, I think it was Oil Can Boy.
Yeah.
Broke his cheekbone a couple of years ago.
Which reminds me of some of the other ball players in the big leagues today, former Little Leaguers.
Pitch misses, it goes to 2-1.
How about this for a starting lineup of former Little Leaguers? Nolan Ryan, Gary Carter, Dave Stewart, Keith Hernandez, Carney Lansford.
Not bad at all. And of course, Carl Yastrzemski and Johnny Bench. Little League in the Hall of Fame. It's foul ball goes back to the screen. Some of those other guys on that list, too, are reasonably famous, although not for their baseball talent.
Yeah, some guy named Kareem. You ever heard of him? He was a former Little Leaguer. Doug Flutie, Little Leaguer. Mike Ditka, former Little Leaguer.
Well, you can picture Ditka as a Little Leaguer, too, can't you?
How about Tom Selleck and Danny DeVito? Can you picture them? They were.
Not in the same uniform. That's
Bruce Springsteen,
Fisher's pitch, fouled back again, and that is a truckload of fouls so far for Matt Hoyt.
And when you talk politicians, you're talking Senator Bill Cohen and Vice President Dan Quayle, former Little Leaguers.
2 balls and 2 strikes. We are in the 5th inning. Bangor West holding a 2-run lead. First baseman Matt Hoyt at the plate. Roger Fisher has gone all the way for Bangor. Up high, ball 3, and the count goes full. 50th anniversary of Little League. All started by a gentleman named Carl Stotz out in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the home now of the Little League World Series. The winner here moves 1 step closer to a trip to Williamsport. The regional championships to be played in Bristol, Connecticut. Full count, ground ball. Arnold at second base has it, over to first. No, he's safe. Slow roller, and not much that Bangor could do on that one, as it did get slowed down a little bit in that wet grass.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it was kind of off the handle a little bit. Look at it just die in the grass. Arnold handled it cleanly, but he just beat the throw. Simply put, that's a base hit.
Hit number 6 in the ballgame. And a pinch runner will be going in now. And we'll see if we can pick up who that young man is. Pinch runner in the game for Hoyt, and Ryan Fernald at the plate for York. They trail by 2. Fernald had a home run against Lewiston in the semifinals. Fisher gets the sign. The pitch inside for a ball. Fernald today has walked and struck out. Struck out looking his last time up. Had a big semifinal game. Also was the winning pitcher in that one. 1-0 pitch, misses again, gets away from the catcher Wilcox, and runner gets down to second base. 2-0 the count. Neil Sheehan, the pinch runner in there at second base. 2-0 the count to Fernald. 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning. Bangor 5, York 3. And the pitch. Check swing, ground ball. Fisher will field it barehanded to King for the out. And that'll do it for the top half of the 5th inning. For York in the 5th, no runs, 1 base hit, no Bangor errors, and 1 man left on. We've completed 4.5 innings of the state championship Little League All-Star game, and Bangor leads it 5-3.
At Champion of Maine, we specialize in vehicles and transportation. We provide charter bus service, school bus transportation, and accessories for the handicapped. If you're a person with a mobility problem and you want to drive, the company to consult is Champion of Maine. Champion of Maine carries a complete line of Braun equipment for use in vehicles driven or occupied by people with physical disabilities. Whether it's special equipment or vehicle modification, the professionals at Champion of Maine can do it for you. We're bigger than you think.
I'll give you a Conseco for a Clemens.
Gee, Bud, baseball cards are bigger than ever. Yeah, and now there's the Nissan Superstar set.
Stars like Wade Boggs, Kirby Puckett, and Don Mattingly. Look for a free card in every loaf of Nissan white bread.
Thanks. Hey, Bobby, what do you give me for a Ted Williams?
A broken bat, maybe. Get out of here.
Collect all 20 Nissan Superstar cards.
It's fun.
And we're back at Knights of Columbus Field in Old Town. This is Rich Kimball along with Dale Duff and Bill Green, and a pretty good crowd that has made its way here this afternoon to watch Bangor hold a 5-3 lead over York. And Bangor got out of not a jam, but a possible threat there in the top of the 5th.
And Roger Fisher does himself good by just coming up with that play, making the nice toss to Owen King at first base, and they stranded 1 runner aboard, and Fisher seemed to settle down in the last couple of innings.
And both teams have made the plays defensively. There haven't been a lot of them. We've seen some strikeouts, but when they've had to do it, they've done the job. Bangor getting their 5 runs in 1 inning with just 1 base hit. Not really any defensive lapses, but just some tough pitching breaks for York. And now Bangor looking to extend their lead. It is 5-2 as they hit here in the home half of the 5th inning. First pitch is a ball from Mike Frankie as Mike Arnold, the second baseman, is up there. Looks at another one, 2-0. Pitch from Frankie, swung on and missed for a strike.
Also seems that just as Roger Fisher has settled down in the last couple of innings, Matt Frankie has as well.
There's a shot into left field, a base hit for Mike Arnold. And he gets on to lead off the 5th inning. Arnold has had himself a nice game, a big play at second base earlier, and a base hit here, and a pinch runner will come in. In just a moment, Freddie Moore will come on into the game to pitch run for Bangor. Mike Arnold leads off the bottom of the 5th with a single.
I like the way this kid plays. That's just a solid base hit up the left field side, and he's on first base. As you mentioned, made a great defensive play. He just looks like a tough, hard-nosed kid, a typical second baseman, right? Little short guy with all kinds of pepper and vinegar.
You like those
pepper
guys.
And vinegar.
I was a little short second baseman. Freddie Moore, number 24, pinch running for Bangor. Played a lot in the district tournament as an outfielder with this Bangor West team. Nobody out, leadoff man on, bottom of the 5th, and the number 9 hitter, Joe Wilcox, the catcher, coming up to the plate. Wilcox on the day with a couple of walks. He has reached base safely twice. Pitch from Frankie. He squares to bunt, pulls it back in time, and it's ball 1.
And Bangor looking to bunt, get that runner into scoring position. 5-3 lead. Nothing is comfortable.
Squaring around again. Yeah, that one is a low and away for ball 2. They say that Wilcox got the bat back in time. Dave Mansfield, the head coach of Bangor West, assisted by Neil Waterman, Chuck Bittner, and Bob Harbox, the coaches for York. As strike 1 is called by home plate umpire Ken Parker. It's 2-1.
And speaking of the Bangor coaching staff, I guess you can only have technically 2 coaches, but some other guys have helped out. Stephen King has done a lot of work with the team to help out, and Ronnie St. Pierre as well.
That's right. 3-1 the count. Well, of course, at this point in the season, these guys have gotten the benefit of a lot of coaching. Of course, they played on their own regular Little League team before they were chosen for the All-Stars.
Yeah, they played a lot of baseball. What, probably 20 games or maybe 16 games?
York played a 16 regular season schedule, and this is their 7th postseason game. So here these guys are their 23rd ball game of the year.
Practicing almost every day.
3-1 pitch up high. Wilcox will draw the base on balls, and that'll put men on first and second with nobody out here in the Bangor 5th inning. And the top of the order, Nick Traskus coming to the plate. Traskus today 0 for 2 with a walk. Struck out looking in the first, swinging in the second, and then drew a base on balls back in the 3rd inning.
By the way, that's the 9th walk by York pitching today, to go along with the hits batsmen that they have had, what, 4? 3?
3 of those. They had some trouble, too, in that Yarmouth game, as they did walk a lot more people than they're accustomed to putting on base.
And as that stat shows, both teams have had chances to score more runs than they have. Right now, it's 5-3, Bangor in the lead. We had timeout for a moment. There was a ball loose or something down the... I see. Okay, someone had called...
And the left field ump had called time. There were some youngsters up beyond the fence, I believe. They called timeout, so that ball 4 pitch to Wilcox did not count. And so we'll do it again. 3-1. He squares. Misses the bunt. Strike called. And a count goes full at 3-2. So nobody out, and instead of men on first and second, they have a runner on first, and Wilcox still hitting.
Right down in that foul pole in left field, there are some kids waiting for a home run ball and a souvenir.
Pitch to Wilcox, grounded back up the middle. Pitcher Frankie to first. He's out, but getting down to second base is Freddie Moore. A nice play that time by the pitcher Frankie. Stabbed that ground ball and tossed it over to Hoyt at first. 1 away, but the runner advances.
Here's the play. Boy, what a play by Frankie to get down and field that ball. And I tell you, that's the difference right there, that timeout call and that great play of having runners on first and second and nobody out. And now you've got just a runner on second base with one out. What a difference.
A good heads-up play, too, by Frankie to make sure he got one out. Sometimes a young player will think about trying for the double play and throw that ball and get nobody, but he made the wise play and got one runner out, so a man on second. And up at the plate is Traskus. 0 for 2 in the day. Struck out a couple of times and walked. Nick had a home run against Lewiston yesterday. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. 1-1. All right, first one was a ball. Could be looking at the scoreboard for that, but I don't. Fly ball, right field, foul, and no chance that time for the right fielder to catch up with it. Fernald tried to track it down, but it does get a little slippery when you get into foul territory. Now the count is 1-2. One out. This is the last half of the 5th inning. We play 6. The winner goes to the regionals in Bristol, Connecticut, one step away from Williamsport. 1-2 pitch. Hit high in the air, drifting, foul, out of play, back behind the concession stand.
That old 6th inning creeps up on you quickly, and, you know, technically speaking, York has 3 outs left. Bangor's got the 5-3 lead, so York needs to do some damage in the next inning if they're to come back.
Traskus fouls another one off. Still 1-2. Freddie Moore, the runner at second for Bangor.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, a couple of Cinderella teams. York has never been in a state tournament at all over the years. Bangor has been 18 years.
And going down swinging is Nick Traskus. Strike 3, and there are 2 outs now in the Bangor 5th inning. And this will bring up Ryan Arabino. Arabino today without an official at bat. He's walked twice and been hit by a pitch, has an RBI, and has scored a run. Interesting day of the box score. He looks at one outside.
Yeah.
Frankie on the mound for York came in relief of Tarbox. His 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike.
He looks very confident at the plate. I mean, he knows which pitch he wants and where he wants it. And he looks very, very confident up there.
Swings. Going after a low pitch and misses it. 1-2. Well, guy's had 5 postseason home runs, including a grand slam yesterday against Lewiston. That'll build your confidence.
And I'm sure a lot of folks around Bangor are still thinking that home run against Hamden by this kid, and they're here today.
The 1-2 pitch from Frankie. Arabino, line drive, base hit in the left center field. That'll score a run. Moore rounding third. Arabino digging for 2. He's in there with a stand-up double, and Bangor takes a 6-3 lead. And a big smile from Ryan Arabino. That was a shot.
It sure was. Right up the gap in left center field. It goes all the way to the fence. That's 200 feet away. And by that time, Moore has scored for Bangor a big 6th run, a big insurance run.
And a wild pitch gets away is Kinney at the plate. Hustling over to third is Arabino. Matt Kinney, the shortstop, up there. Kinney today with a couple of walks and a fielder's choice. Bangor got 5 runs in the 3rd on 1 hit, 6 walks, and a hit batsman. They've added an insurance run here in the 5th.
And in the meantime, Roger Fisher has settled down nicely and pitched a nice ball game, throwing a lot of pitches for Bangor.
Foul tip that time by Matt Kinney. 1-1 the count. Matt Kinney, winning pitcher against Lewiston. Had a couple of wins in the district tournament. Another one gets away, but no attempt to come home from Arabino as Tarbox hustled quickly back to the screen to get it. 2-2. Or 2-1. The only game that Bangor lost in postseason, Kinney was the starting pitcher against Hamden. They were playing well in the ballgame. He got hit with a line drive and had to leave. As Frankie misses up high, and Kinney came back in and was the benefactor of that Arabino home run in the third game of the series.
That was a tough three-game series, Bangor and Hamden.
Just gets a piece of this one. Kinney hangs in there. Count is full, 3-2. Bangor West, 3 wins away. 3 outs away, I should say, from their first state championship win in 28 years. And Neil Waterman watching intently from the sidelines. He's been in these situations before as an assistant coach at Bangor High School. Frankie's pitch, full count. Ground ball to short. An error, and that'll score another run. Justin Filbert couldn't quite find the handle. Tough play out there on a hard hit ball by Matt Kinney, and that'll bring another run home. And it's a 7-3 lead for Bangor.
Well, here it is. It's a short grounder there, and Filbert just let it play him a little bit, and there's just nothing he can do about that play. He knew it. He fires it back into the pitcher. He's disgusted with himself. Those type of things are going to happen at this level, but that is a very big insurance run for Bangor.
Kevin Roachford at the plate, the third baseman, looks at strike one. 7-3 Bangor.
A grand slam ties now, right?
Yeah, that's the way you have to think. In these ball games, you know it can happen. 1-1 the count. If you're looking ahead to the 6th inning, it'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for York. Pitch misses outside for Frankie. 2-1. Kevin Roachford, third baseman. The Bangor West Side All-Stars. Played shortstop much of the season, but he's been the third baseman. Good bat control and a good bunter. Looks at another one. And now the catcher, Tarbox, wants a word with his pitcher, Matt Frankie.
That's been the pitching tandem today for York. Tarbox got the start, but just could not find the plate. Struck out the side while walking a couple of guys in that first inning. As Neil Waterman and now Chuck Bittner doesn't look too upset. He shouldn't be. He's had an outstanding season, and he's still got some time to come back in this one.
Kevin Roachford fouls one off, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 men out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bangor 7, York 3. Matt Frankie on the mound for York. Matt Kinney, the runner at first for Bangor. And the pitch. Outside, ball 4. The 10th walk allowed by York pitching today. And that'll put men on first and second with 2 outs. If you can find a guy who can throw strikes for you at the Little League level, you're in good shape, and that's been the problem that York has had today. They've played pretty good defense. They've out-hit Bangor, but they trail on the scoreboard 7-3 as Roger Fisher swings and misses at the first pitch.
And this inning has the potential now to be a big inning. With Fisher up now and Owen King on deck if he gets the chance. Bangor's opened up some breathing room here now. The question is, will they turn it into a 5, 6, 7 run affair?
Fisher has done the job at the mound and at the plate today. He's 1 for 2, has drawn a walk. 1-1 the count. This one's in there for a called strike. 1 and 2. Pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and so Frankie gets out of what might have been a bigger jam. But Bangor comes up with 2 runs in the inning. They did it with 2 base hits. There was 1 error, and 2 men are left on. We have played 5 full innings of the State Little League Championship. Bangor West leading York 7-3.
If you've been looking for this year's informative, inspiring bestseller, you won't find it in any section of any bookstore.
But you can find it at Fred Hallett Incorporated, Bangor and Howland.
If you're planning any new construction or renovation project, this book will be the most useful tool you'll pick up. It's a complete how-to book of window and door systems showing all the styles and sizes.
Available at Fred Hallett Incorporated, Bangor and Howland.
Get yours now.
The 3E Company has the resources to handle any electrical installation project of any size and scope. As one of Maine's outstanding electrical contractors, we have the knowledge and expertise to construct a reliable power system to suit your needs. Be assured that the 3E Company will pay close attention to every detail to ensure a successful electrical installation that will perform reliably for years. When it comes to your electrical installation, whatever the job requires, the 3E Company can do it right, on schedule and on budget.
Here at the Silas Thorndike Academy, our boys display exemplary behavior. Occasionally, we do have an outbreak of high-spiritedness. When these little mishaps occur, we rely on Brawny.
Brawny!
It's the largest towel you can buy, and it's strong enough to handle even the toughest jobs. Thanks ever so much, Brawny.
Anytime, Teach. Brawny, the big tough towel.
Not over. York has come from behind several times during this series, and Bangor gave up 3 and left the bases loaded in their last ball game, so I think we got a lot more excitement to go. Also, Mike Arnold would be the reliever for Bangor, not Rochefort. They play on the same team. I confused the two boys. Owen King might come in short relief, and Bangor West, you know, what a ball game they've played. They've played close to their potential. They've done a nice job to get this far. It's going to be a very exciting 6th inning, Dale.
Okay, Bill, thanks very much. And boy, it is. It's interesting to see 2 Cinderella stories here today. Boy, way back when the All-Stars started with all the district play and all the best-of-3 double elimination tournaments, and who would have ever thought Bangor and York would be here in the state final game live here on the Maine Broadcasting System, huh?
Well, both of them are just very excited to be at this stage, but Bangor right now getting the better of it, a 7-3 lead as Roger Fisher has done a magnificent job on the mound today. He will face in the top of the 6th inning the number 8, 9, and 1 hitters, the 3rd baseman Josh Wyatt, to lead it off. A 6-inning ball game, so Bangor needing 3 outs to win it. The pitch, he squares, and it misses outside. And a pinch hitter up there, that is Tim Pollock. Pollock pinch hitting for the 3rd baseman Wyatt. Puts it one outside for ball 2. His hobbies, sports and sports, he says.
Well, Coach Bittner told us he was going to try to get all his guys in here, and I think he's going to do that.
And it's great. I like to see that.
Yes.
Just a thrill for these guys to be here, but even more fun if they can say they played in a state championship game.
And I've got to figure that maybe this kid can maybe squeeze out a walk or something like that and get on base. That's what they need. Runners on base make things happen if they can climb back into this thing.
Tim Pollock at the plate, a 2-1 count. Fisher, who has thrown an awful lot of pitches today, working for Bangor. It's in there for a called strike 2.
I've got to give a lot of credit to Roger Fisher, who had some struggles early in the game, but he has settled down nicely. He's been calm, cool, collected out there.
This one's hit down the 3rd baseline, just foul. And trotting back to the plate is Pollock. Will try again. Two balls and 2 strikes, top half of the 6th inning. With the winner headed to the regionals in Bristol, Connecticut. And the pitch. Up high. And the count goes full.
And as Bill had mentioned yesterday, Bangor had some 6th inning struggles yesterday.
Yes, they did. They had trouble getting out of it. Also in the last game with Machias, the first game with Machias, they had some trouble too after holding a big lead. Ball 4, and so Pollock, hey, he's happy. He did his job, got into pinch hit, drew the walk, and reaches first base. And now the pitcher, Matt Frankie, and I believe Dave Mansfield's going to make a change. Talking to Roger Fisher, who has worked hard today. Mike Arnold, the 2nd baseman, coming in, and they will make a pitching change. Fisher should get a pretty good hand from the Bangor fans as well as the York fans. A heck of a job that young man did today. Fisher will switch places with Arnold and go out to 2nd base. And he has his team in the lead, 7-3, and Mike Arnold, the 2nd baseman, will come in and throw.
Well, he walked 4 batters. He gave up 5 hits. and had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts. So a good, solid effort for Roger Fisher. He, I think, was a big factor in this game when Bangor scored 5 times in that early inning, that third inning. He came out, shut the team down 2 innings in a row, and that seemed to change the momentum a little bit. Now let's see what Mr. Arnold can do.
Talking to all the extended Bangor West family, hanging around, and they say that he's Mike Arnold, obviously, as you would say, throw strikes, and he's calm. And they just want the calmest kid in there because they're figuring that if we don't walk anybody, we being Bangor West, they're saying that, you got to hit for 4 runs, and that's awfully hard at Little League level in the bottom of 6 when the state championship depends on. This York club has come from behind many, many times, so it'll be a pretty good game.
Well, it's the second time Arnold's done this in 3 games. He came in relief of Owen King in the victory over Machias, too, in the last game of their series.
Good control there.
And the simple fact is, Roger Fisher threw a lot of pitches, over 100 pitches.
102 pitches.
What a performance.
Wow.
Huh?
Yep.
Player of the game, if they win. If not, the player of the game sitting over there on the bench somewhere.
Waiting for his
coming
turn
up to
at
get
bat.
a double. That's
well,
right.
I'm sure that York players and coaches are saying, hey, they scored 5 times with only 1 hit, and we can do the same here in the bottom, top of the 6th.
And what a good group, York is. You can look at them and tell that's a good group of athletes, and they're all going to be going to the same high school. I would think that we're going to be hearing a few of those names again in baseball and in basketball. They look like good athletes, and I understand they play together in basketball as well.
Well, both these guys are pictures of determination. Take a look at the faces of Mike Arnold and Matt Franke, each one waiting for the other to be ready. And a big situation here in the top half of the 6th inning for York, down by 4 in this championship game.
All they want him to do is throw strikes. The Bangor coaches would just like him to throw strikes, get it over the plate, let him hit the ball, let our fielders catch the ball, and Bangor has been fundamentally sound. But before he gets a chance to throw, Randy Rand wants another TV appearance here. What is this? We give him a little TV time, and now he's out there again.
He deserves it. He may be the guy that deserves it,
Yeah, that's probably the most valuable player here today.
You always hear stories about how the administration does a nice job, but it's almost impossible that they're playing. They did a terrific job.
I mean, they took up sod and had vacuum cleaners out here getting the water off the infield. What a job by Randy and all the other volunteers.
There's a Norman Rockwell drawing called The Teammates.
Well, tomorrow coming up, a big one at Fenway Park as the Cleveland Indians take on the Boston Red Sox. It is, of course, the day that they retire number 8 at Fenway Park, and that'll precede tomorrow afternoon's game. The pitch, line to Arabino in center field. And there is one away. Well, Arnold didn't take long, 1 pitch. And Franke hits a line drive right to Ryan Arabino. Top of the order now, Dan Bouchard with 1 away. Boy, that was a shot. The way that took off, you thought it might go a little farther. Bouchard looks at ball 1 from Mike Arnold. Arnold today or Bouchard rather, has had a hit and a walk in 3 appearances. Runner at first base. With 1 out here in the 6th inning. Arnold, the pitch, outside and low for a ball.
And I'm sure that York folks would like to get to the number 3 spot in the order, Phil Tarbox. And if they were to do that, possibly having 3 guys on, and he's the man they'd like to get to.
Here's the pitch, misses again. And Arnold dropping down a little bit that time, not coming over the top, but more from the side, just kind of drifted that ball outside. And that'll take the count to 3 balls and no strikes to the top of the order, Dan Bouchard. Pollock, the runner at first. 3-0 delivery. Squares, and it's a called strike.
Well, as we mentioned, Arnold is not unfamiliar with this situation. He seems very poised out there, knows what he needs to do, and that's get the ball over the plate, and seems to be well in control.
3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. And so, with 1 out in the top of the 6th, And perhaps final inning. York has drawn another base on balls. 2 on, 1 out. And here's the shortstop, Justin Philbrick. Philbrick's had a double in 3 trips to the plate today. Arnold's pitch. Line drive, base hit into center field. Arabino up with it. Here's the throw, and it's going for home. Arnold, the relay to the catcher, and he is safe. Throw down to third, not in time, and the runners will move up to second and third. Arabino's throw a little bit off the mark. Arnold took a cutoff near home plate and couldn't get it into Wilcox in time. It's a 7-4 game.
Well, there's the base hit up the middle, and Arabino's throw is way up the line, and they try the old shovel play, the old hook and ladder play, I think. The catcher almost gets him, but that runner slides in safely, and the runners move up now to second and third, and still just 1 out.
And the tying run at the plate in the person of Phil Tarbox.
Well, there's
who
no
may
doubt
be the best hitter on this York team.
This is the guy that they want up there. There's no doubt about that.
Arnold's pitch. Down low. He does not want to get it up high into Tarbox's wheelhouse. 1 out, second and third, a 7-4 ball game. You don't think Little League is exciting? You haven't seen a game then. Arnold's pitch, right in there for a strike.
I don't know if the kids are nervous, but I know there are some nervous parents around this field.
Few nails being chewed to the bone here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on. Fly ball, deep center field. And it is out of here, a home run. We are tied up.
York wanted at bat at that time with a chance to tie it, and he did it right over the center field area, and there was really no doubt about it. Arabino went way back to the fence. Here it is. It got it out over the plate, got the meat of the bat on it. He goes all the way out, and it lands right on our camera platform up there. And you see Mike Arnold's reaction there as this game is now tied.
Pat Hutchins at the plate, and Arnold may be a bit shaken. And wisely, Dave Mansfield will call time and go out and have a word with him.
Here's another look at that home run. That pitch was out over the plate, and it was in his wheelhouse. Straight back, center field, 3-run homer. It hits the camera up there, over the fence. Game is tied, and what did we talk about in between innings about how, hey, you can come back in this thing? And
somewhere Yogi is smiling.
Boy, oh boy, it is great action to see. It is
1-0 pitch, ball 2 to Pat Hutchins, the center fielder.
Still only 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
Couple of walks, a line drive out to Arabino, and then a shot hit out of here by Phil Tarbox, who, if anybody on that York team deserved it, he did. Wanted to make up for a rough pitching scheme. This one will get by Kinney into left field. And Hutchins is on. Still only 1 out.
Well, Matt Kinney went down to get this ball. A big hopper, but it took that high hop and it just went over his glove. And we'll rule that an E6.
Left fielder Andy Estes up there with 1 out. And a man on. Fouls this one back off the screen. Estes today 0 for 2 officially. Flew to left, struck out, and reached on a walk earlier in the ball game. Bangor 7, York 7. Top of the 6th inning. Bangor with 5 runs in the 3rd. York has come back with 4 here in the top of the 6th.
What a great game.
We've seen it all today. 0-1 pitch outside for a ball. A nice stop by Joe Wilcox. 1-1. The runner on first is Hutchins. Arnold's pitch. Hit high in the air toward us. Owen King with a good effort, but unable to reach it. And that'll be strike 2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th inning, it'll be Owen King, Arthur Dorr, and Mike Arnold due up for Bangor, but they've got to get out of this one first. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, high in the air toward third. Rochford has it. And there are 2 men outs in the top of the 6th inning. And this brings up another big guy, first baseman Matt Hoyt, who is probably bigger than most of the players on this field and a couple of the coaches.
1 for 3 on the day.
Runner on first, 2 down. The pitch down low, gets away, and down to second will go Pat Hutchins. And that puts the lead run in scoring position with 2 outs. Mike Arnold came on in relief of Roger Fisher here in the 6th inning after Fisher threw 102 pitches. Phil Tarbox with the big hit of the ball game, a 3-run homer to straightaway center field to tie this one up. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed up high. You don't think Hoyt was looking for another one of those, do you?
Wanted to make this thing 9-7 in a hurry.
Wind has died down. It was blowing out for a while. And swirling around the flag out there in left center field. 1-1 the count. Here's Arnold's pitch. Up high, but in the infield, King has it. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning in a tie ball game. In the 6th, it's 4 runs for York. They do it on 2 base hits, 1 Bangor error, and 1 man left on. After 5.5 innings in the state championship, we are tied at 6-6. 7-7.
James River Corporation, drawing on the talents of our employees and the community to find a better way.
Step right up for a big show of savings. The Carnival of Values at True Value Hardware stores. Make a grand entrance with this quick-set polished brass lock set, just $6.99. Add lights with this workshop fixture, only $8.69. This channel lock adjustable socket, just $11.99, makes all kinds of repairs. And for just $3.69, get this Empire broom with Palmyra bristles in the Carnival of Value circular and at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we had sat down and gotten, I don't know, somebody like Stephen King to write one out for us, it couldn't have come down to a more exciting finish than this. York with 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning to tie this one up as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Bill? And I'll tell you what, if you want a dramatic finish for Stephen King, how about this one? His son to lead it off. Owen King up in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's a young man who has done an excellent job today. Matt Franke coming in relief with his team way behind, and he has just done the job, has kept his team in it. That's all you ask of a long reliever in this situation. He'll face King. The bottom of the 6th. Line drive to second base. Bouchard to first for the out. King is retired. That'll bring up the right fielder, Arthur Dorr, who is 1 for 3 today. And the pitch misses just outside, 1-0.
Extra innings, maybe, in a state championship game?
Oh, this is great. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 1.
After a 3-hour or so rain delay, who knows, maybe.
Line drive right to the shortstop, Justin Filbert, and there are 2 outs. The tide has turned. Boy, Franke is fired up. Big defensive play. Watch this grab by Filbert. Mike Arnold, the pitcher, with 2 outs. Ground ball, second base, Bouchard up with it, over to first, and a quick 1-2-3 inning in the 6th for York. Bangor 3 up, 3 down. We're going extra innings in the state championship game. At the end of 6 full, it is York 7, Bangor West 7. How about that?
Services for this broadcast have been provided by Action Equipment Company. Sales, rentals, service of construction equipment. Hammond Street, Bangor. Call 947-4004.
Well, we have played the required 6 innings in this state championship game. Nothing decided. 7-7 as we hit extra innings in the top of the 7th.
And you can notice it's getting darker.
I don't want to say it.
I hate to say that, but it is getting noticeably darker in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
Arnold's pitch swung on and missed by Ryan Fernald, the right fielder. Fernald's 0 for 2 through a base on balls. Had a home run yesterday, though, against Lewiston. Line shot right to the shortstop, Kinney. Well, now, both sides decide to throw a little bit of leather out here. Let's keep this one going. Hey, they're having fun. Why stop now?
Absolutely. And what a game of changing momentum. York jumped out to the 3-0 lead. Bangor came back, scored 5 times in 1 inning, made it 5-3, seemed to have things in control. And then the big 6th inning for York, and here we are, extra innings. This is a championship game exactly the way you'd want to script it.
At the plate, this is Wyatt. Josh Wyatt came out for a pinch runner last inning, but is back in there now to hit. Squares around, pitch goes high for ball.
And remember last inning we talked about Pollock, who came up to bat. Coach Chuck Bickner wanted to get everybody in the game. That guy drew a walk, got on base, and got something started. And that's all that they wanted.
Another ball misses high and inside. Mike Arnold came on in relief for Roger Fisher. Pitching now to Wyatt. Inside for a ball, 3-0. On deck hitter is the pitcher, Matt Frankie. Chuck Bittner urging his crew on. This one way up high, gets away from Wilcox. And it is ball 4 as Wyatt draws base on balls. 1 out, 1 on. 7th inning. Matt Frankie up here. Frankie, left-handed hitter against Arnold, the righty. Outside for ball 1.
And his pitching has been a big factor in this game. When he came in initially, he walked 2 or 3 men, and the rally was still alive for Bangor, but since then he has settled down nicely.
Fouls this one out of play, and that evens things at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wyatt, the runner at first. We're tied at 7, top of the 7th. Outside for ball 2. Top of the order, Dan Bouchard, the second baseman, on deck. Crowd is hanging in here. Nobody's leaving at this point. Arnold's pitch. Grounded foul, bounced around the batter's box, strike 2. One out here for York. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Arnold gets the sign from Wilcox, and the pitch misses outside. 3-2.
And you can see that shot from behind the plate. See the folks out in and around the center field area. Big crowd on hand, and boy, they have got to be enjoying this game. This is great action.
Big pitch with a full count and 1 away. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Oh. Matt Frankie, boy, you can feel for that kid.
Well, I think he knew that he swung at ball 4. And no one knew it better than he did. Look at that. Puff cheeks. He's going to go for it.
First pitch to Bouchard is fouled back and out of play. 1 strike. 2 outs, man on first.
And we're back to the top of the order now for York.
5th trip to the plate for Bouchard. He's had a single, a walk, 2 walks, and popped out to Arnold, who made a super play on it. What seems like an eternity ago.
Yeah, when he went back and made the great over-the-shoulder catch.
1 ball, 1 strike. And Arnold's pitch. Foul back. Runner heads down to second, but he'll have to come back as he got a piece of it.
I will say this, though. When you get into extra innings, it's awfully nice to be the home team, isn't it?
Sure is. That coin flip becomes even more important. We talked about that before the game. The toss of the coin on these wet grounds landed right on its side and then toppled over to tails, and Bangor won it. Pitch hit to left field, drifting foul, and almost got out of play. Traskus, the good effort getting over there to the fence.
Banged up against that fence.
200 feet is, well, not all that far. You see those fly balls start going to the outfield. I don't know if the pitchers get nervous. I sure do.
I know.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Arnold throws way up high. Boy, Wilcox went up and got that one.
Well, you know, there are 17,000 kids playing Little League Baseball in Maine, 66 different leagues. And these are the 2 best at the moment.
Here's the pitch. Ground ball to short. Kinney will take it himself. And that is 3 outs in the top of the 7th inning. No runs, no base hits, no Bangor errors, and 1 man left on. We go to the bottom of the 7th. In his 50th anniversary of Little League, our state championship is tied at 7. Things up for York. And we have been scoreless since then. Bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch to Wilcox outside for a ball, 2-0. Wilcox to be followed by a couple of guys who hit him out of the park yesterday, Nick Traskus and Ryan Arabino.
And this little kid's hung in there tough. Remember, he got hit by a pitch there early, and boy, he smarted for a little bit. He's been under catching, squatting down, and done great work.
Was not a catcher during the season, but has done the job for Bangor. Ground ball, slow roll to Frankie to first. Wild throw, and he'll be safe. Ground ball that just died in front of the pitcher's mound, and Frankie had to hurry.
Here it is as Frankie makes the good turn, makes the throw, and he kind of submarined it, and it kind of took off on him and got by the first baseman, but not far enough for him to get to second base.
Well, a good play by Matt Hoyt to hustle over and pick that one up and keep the runner from getting to second. Now, the choice for Bangor, do you bunt?
Well, you're back at the top of the order now with Nick Traskus, and it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, he struck out 3 times today. I have got to believe in this situation that you bunt.
Yeah, they're calling timeout. Dave Mansfield talking to Nick Traskus, and he wants to make sure that everybody understands what the scenario is here. Wilcox with pretty good speed at first, and you're the home team. You just want to play to get that man in scoring position.
And when you're talking about the bottom of an inning like this, the 7th, you're talking sudden death. And first run wins here.
And if you can get him to second, you've got an excellent hitter in Arabino on deck.
Boy, he didn't look like he was bunting there, though, did he?
Throw down to first. Wilcox back in safely. No.
No indication of bunt at all.
Well, that might have been just to try and see what the defensive reaction was.
He is a good hitter. He's had a tough day at the plate today, but he is a good hitter.
Pitch to Traskus. Low for a ball. 2-0.
Not showing bunt at all.
And the pitch. Ground ball to second. For 1. Not in time to turn the double play, but a good job by Danny Bouchard. Bouchard, the second baseman, flipped over to short to Philbrick for the force out. And so the lead man is knocked down for Bangor. 1 out and Arabino at the plate.
And just like in the 6th inning for York when they had Tarbox come to the plate, this is the guy Bangor wants at the plate at a key situation because he's their best hitter.
And Frankie will talk to Tarbox right now. What did you throw him? Okay, fine. I'll try the same thing. It worked for you once.
Arabino walked the first time up. He got hit by a pitch the second time, walked the third time, and then got a double that knocked in a run his 4th appearance.
First pitch misses low for ball 1. Nick Traskus, the runner at first. Bottom of the 7th. Tied at 7. State championship on the line. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Base hit. Right center field. Traskus heading for third. The ball back in there quickly, and they'll hold it. Another big base hit for Ryan Arabino as he drills an opposite field double. And Bangor has the winning run just 60 feet away.
Well, and Matt Kinney, the number 3 hitter, comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. Just like it was to Tarbox, the ball out over the plate. He gets it and goes up the gap in right center field. And that's a great play out there in center field by Pat Hutchins. He got that ball back in a hurry and kept that lead runner at third base. Here it is again, out over the plate. He got all of it, drove it to the gap, and in the meantime, Traskus wheeled his way into third. Hutchins' throw prevented him from going any further. Now, talk about a key situation.
Boy, Chuck Midner wanted to talk things over with Matt Franke. Let everybody know the situation. A deep fly ball could possibly score that winning run, so the outfield takes a couple of steps in. 1 out. Men on second and third. Tie ball game. Last of the 7th. Outside with a pitch, and you don't even want a pass ball at this point. Although, again, there's not a lot of room going to that backstop.
You'll have to squirt off to the side. If it goes directly back, there's just no way you can score.
And with first base open, for York, it might not be the worst thing in the world to put Kinney on. Rochford on deck.
Rochford on deck has struck out twice and walked twice on the day, so.
1-0 pitch. Inside and on the corner for a strike. 1-1.
What great baseball.
This is something. Traskus, the runner at third. Arabino at second. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Matt Kinney, Bangor shortstop. Up there. Chance to win it. 1-2. Ball 2 outside. Tarbox doing a super job behind the plate for York.
Bangor coaches telling Kinney to just beat the ball, just get the bat on the ball.
Here's Frankie's pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Big pitch from Matt Franke with a potential winning run, standing on third base. Now there are 2 out. And it is up to Kevin Rochford. Good contact hitter. That's why he's in the cleanup spot. Doesn't strike out very much. Men on second and third. Franke. Misses inside. Hustles in to cover.
Doing a great job. Every pitch in the dirt. Franke comes in, try to cover the plate just in case. Fundamentally, very strong.
This has just been a super baseball game to watch. We're tied at 7, the state championship of Little League. And a 1-0 pitch to Rochford. Outside, ball 2. Boy, you look at him.
Yeah, look at his face.
He knows the importance of the situation.
Oh, this is great. I tell you, these kids, no matter what, they're going to learn a lot about competing and all that goes with athletics.
2-0 the count. 2 outs. Men on second and third. This is outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Roger Fisher, the on-deck hitter for Bangor. And Mr. Franke will have to throw this one over. I don't think there'll be a green light. 3-0, 2 outs. How many people are sitting down? Everybody in the bleachers is standing up. And they're ready to cheer either way, whatever happens with this hitter. 3-0 count. Squares to bunt. In there for a called strike.
The old automatic on 3-0. Will he be taking again on 3-1?
Pretty good hitter on deck in Fisher. Arabino standing at second. The 3-1. Swung on and missed. Strike 2.
Boy, I'll tell you, Matt Franke has just been bearing down and throwing with great poise, great confidence. Look at him there on the mound. He knows what's at stake here.
Traskus, the runner at third. Well, does it come down to a bigger pitch than this very often? 3-2 count. Men on second and third. Tie ball game. Last of the 7th, and the pitch. All 4. Franke wanted it. And the Bangor fans can breathe again.
pitch was close, too. I think Frankie would have liked to have had that call, but it was close, and Chuck Bittner comes out to talk yet another time. I don't know how many trips that is to the mound. I would guess it's probably his last.
Umpires, I believe, are talking that over right now.
Here it is. That's... Yeah, I don't know. I can't see the plate. It looked outside for a moment, and I can't quite see the plate from that angle. And, it was ball 4, according to the ump, and that's what counts.
Now in a game where you've seen 11 or 12 walks, this becomes a tough situation because you have to throw the ball over the plate. Bases loaded. Roger Fisher up there. He's already had 1 hit today. Frankie in relief has worked a lot. 108 pitches.
Wow.
Bases full. This is Fisher. Swung on it. Strike 1. Rogers started the game on the mound for Bangor and did a wonderful job, throwing 102 pitches. Traskus on third. The pitch. Ground ball. Fielded by the first baseman, and he'll make the play. We'll go to the 8th inning, as Frankie shuts the door with the bases loaded in the 7th inning. Bangor comes up with no runs. They had 1 base hit, 3 runners left on, after 7 full innings in the state championship. York 7, Bangor West 7.
The smartest ideas...
Count out for them here, as he'll face the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters for York.
And I keep thinking back to early today, their morning hours. It was rainy and fog and downpouring, and sometimes we were saying, gee, you know, they're never going to get this game in today. And things brightened up, and the game got underway, and gee, here we are into the 8th inning, tied 7. Yeah, we were joking around when it was pouring rain, saying, what a great day, let's play 2. And we may end up playing what equals to be 2. You're right.
Number 2 hitter, the shortstop, Justin Philbrick. Standing in against Mike Arnold. Came in relief in the 6th inning. First pitch. Line shot fouled on the third base side. Strike 1.
York has hit a lot of line shots like that down the third baseline today. Off of Fisher and now Arnold.
Arnold doesn't show too much emotion out there. Just goes out and tries to do the job. Swung on and missed. Took a little something off that one. 0-2.
Good pitch. Good off-speed pitch. You have to admire these kids. I mean, that pitcher and that first baseman, that little number coming to first base with 2 out and the bases loaded. And
0-2 pitch. Good waste outside for Arnold. Goes to 1 and 2.
Hey, when that first baseman in that last half inning stepped on the bag, I thought he was going to let the air out of that bag. Did you see him?
No doubt about that one. 1-2 pitch. Into left field. And Traskus makes a catch. Outstanding play by Nick Traskus. Boy, he went and got that one on a damp field. What an excellent play for the Bangor West left fielder.
Wow, there it is. And remember, he slipped a couple of times out there, but made catches. He makes that catch on the line and then skids.
We know he's a skateboarder. Did you know that?
No.
He kind of showed it with that move there. About ready to do a little loop-the-loop. Well, here's the guy who is responsible for us being where we are right now. Phil Tarbox, a 3-run homer in the 6th inning to tie it. He's also had a double today. Swings and misses at this one, and it's 0-2.
And that 6th inning home run went straight to center field, a line shot. There was no doubt about it. It was gone. And boy, what a momentum change at that moment.
Oh, and you know they've told Arnold now 0-2, keep the ball down and keep it away. As Tarbox took a little moment to compose himself. Up high, fly ball deep, that's gone. Phil Tarbox, his 2nd home run in as many at-bats, and he has put York in the lead 8-7.
Well, just like the 3-run job, there was no doubt about that one. Up, right in the wheelhouse, and he turned on it, and he got it. This one to left center field. Look how far that ball went over the fence. Remember, it's 200 feet to the fence, and that thing probably went another 30 feet, I would say.
That was a shot. You knew the minute he hit it, it was gone. On an 0-2 pitch. Arnold wanted to keep it down and away if he could, but got it up high, and that was out of here in a hurry. And now Neil Waterman, Bangor West assistant, will come out and talk with Arnold.
So not a bad little day for Mr. Tarbox. 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs.
2 homers and a double.
And keep in mind, he's the guy that started this game pitching for York and had such control problems, and he couldn't do it on the mound necessarily today, but when he got to the plate, that was a different story.
Yeah, found a nice way to redeem himself. 2 homers will do that for you.
Isn't it interesting? In many ways, the GOAT to the hero in some respects. Certainly it isn't over yet, but he certainly is the MVP candidate at this stage. Boy, no, that shot went a lot more distance than that first one. It was a shot.
Center fielder Pat Hutchins 1 for 4 on the day. Up there with a 1-0 count. Hutchins had a big grin on his face when he got to the plate because he knew that it was a little pressure taken off with that home run. There's a shot, base hit into left field. Traskus will field and get it in quickly, but it's a single, the second hit of the day for Patrick Hutchins. Andy Estes, the left fielder, coming up. 1 out. Top half of the 8th inning, a scheduled 6-inning ball game. Bangor led 7-3 going into the top of the 6th. York has tied it, and now they've gone ahead on Phil Tarbox's 2nd home run of the day. This will be a ground ball to third. Rochford will field cleanly over to second. Wild throw into the outfield, backed up nicely by Arthur Dorr. Good hustle by Dorr, but men are on first and second now. With just 1 out, a tough play that time for Rochford.
Well, he had the right idea. Wanted to go to second, cut down the lead runner, and he did, but he just kind of put that throw in the dirt. There was just no chance Fisher could get to that ball. So best intentions did not work out there. He had the right idea.
And a pitching change coming up for Bangor West as Mike Arnold will come out of there, and big number 17, Owen King, will come in and try to shut the door now.
All right, here's the play again as Bangor tries to cut down the lead man. Rochford took the ball and just kind of fired it in the dirt. A good stretch by Fisher to try to get to it, but good backup work by the Bangor outfield, and they could not advance. So runners on first and second.
Owen King, he got the win in Bangor's victory over Machias that clinched the district championship. A 12-2 victory. King got it with help and relief from Arnold, and now he relieves Mike.
That's correction. Arnold moves to first base. Mike Arnold.
Arnold will go over to second base. So just a simple position switch. 8-7, York in the lead here in the top of the 8th.
And all they want Owen King to do is get the ball over the plate. He's a big towering figure out there and can be somewhat intimidating, and they want him to throw the ball over the plate. At times he does have some control problems, and Bangor coaches want him to get that ball over the plate. And it is interesting to note that Bangor has played pretty good baseball in terms of not committing a lot of errors, but today a couple of times they just haven't been able to make that play. For instance, that play by third baseman Rochford. But I don't know, I got to believe maybe the ball is a little bit wet once it gets to the fielders, and by the time they throw, it happened to York a couple of times as well. And but win or lose, I'm glad to see that the game is being decided by good hitting and good pitching and that type of thing, and not a slip of a wet field or something like that.
Well, Owen King will face probably the only guy out here that's his size, and that is Matt Hoyt, the first baseman. Hoyt stepping in with 1 out and 2 on here in the top of the 8th. King's first pitch, down low. Bounces in the dirt. Wilcox comes up with it.
Yeah,
that's ball 1.
I think Owen is 6 feet, they said, or 6'1", and Hoyt is every bit that size.
King sets and fires in there for a called strike. He can bring it. He's got pretty good velocity. 1-1 to Hoyt, who's had a single in 4 trips today. Down low, gets away from Wilcox, and the runners will move up to second and third. You don't want to throw it here. Boy, nice play by Rochford. That one almost got into the outfield. Big stop by Kevin Rochford on the throw back down. 2-1. If you're wondering, we'll be joining Saturday Night Live in progress. Man on second and third. King to the belt. And he throws. Ground ball. Grabbed by Rochford. Over to first. He's got the out. The throw to the plates. Up high. They'll cover. And no play at the plates. Boy, everybody in that Bangor team scrambled in to cover home that time. Rochford to shortstop Kinney. Arnold, the first baseman. King. They were all there. That was a nice play by Rochford.
Yeah,
a
really
good heads-up ball play.
It really was. He held the runner, made sure that he didn't move, then quickly threw to first for the out. That made it 2 out. Now, Arnold threw home wild, but again, there is not much room behind there, and the runner at third had retreated, so there was no way he was going to score.
A 1-run ball game, 8-7. York in the lead. Phil Tarbox with a 3-run homer to tie it in the 6th, and a solo shot to give them the lead here in the 8th. King trying to get Bangor out of this inning. Got the first man, and now he faces Ryan Fernald. Fernald, the right fielder. King drops down, throws it behind him. King will hustle home to cover, and the runners will stay. Man on third base is the center fielder, Hutchins. Andy Estes at second.
Very important for Bangor to keep this a 1-run ball game. It makes a big difference whether you're down 2 or 3 or just down 1.
Owen King's pitch. Fouled back, and it's 1-1. One ball, one strike. Fernald is up there with men on second and third. King's pitch. Hit toward first base. Arnold has it in the air, and that'll do it. So Owen King comes in and does his job and checks the rally at 1 run. But in the top half of the 8th inning, it's 1 run for York on 2 base hits, and there were 2 men left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning in the state championship game, and it is York leading Bangor West 8-7.
Here at the Silas Thorne.
Bases loaded, jam.
And a big play, too, by the first baseman, Hoyt, to stop that little squibber hit down the first base line. Owen King will lead it off for Bangor here in the last of the 8th. The pitch swung on and missed. And King wanted to put that one out in the trees. This one's outside, 1-1. Down low for ball 2. This one has been worth the wait for the people who have been watching the rain and working on drying out the field today. It has been a very exciting state championship ball game. King rips one down first base line. Foul. Evens up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, statewide live television coverage, extra inning ball game, great action. What more could you want? Little League folks have to be pleased.
Frankie's pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. And York 2 outs away from a state title. Remember that before this year, they had only won 1 postseason game ever, and that was in their district tournament last year. But they're riding a 6-game winning streak right now.
And as Coach Chuck Bittner told us before the game, that his team is the talk of the town in New York, and why not?
And deservedly so. Arthur Dorr, the Bangor right fielder, looks at one inside for a ball.
It is one of those situations where it's tough for either team to lose at this stage when they both have put in the effort that they have put in. But unfortunately, you can't have only one state champion, and someone's going to go on to the regional tournament, but the other team is going to have many, many memories of this postseason play.
They'll remember this for a long, long time to come. This one's outside, 2-0. Frankie working to Dorr. In there for a called strike. High foul ball drifting out of play along the right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Frankie in relief with 7 Ks. The 2-2 pitch. Up high, ball 3, full count. Dorr, the right fielder, digging in for Bangor. As Frankie takes a step off the back of the mound to compose himself. Kicks and throws. Ball 4. And Dorr draws a walk. So Bangor gets the tying run on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th.
And I suppose I should point out that it was the same situation. Bangor was really 2 outs away from going to further play in the 6th inning when all kinds of things happened and balls started flying over the fences and that. So I'll tell you what, the Bangor bench is not giving up just yet.
Well, they've had some big come-from-behind wins, most notably that one over Hamden. Chuck Bittner's team, they've won a few come-from-behinders. Trying to do it again here today. They were down 4 in the 6th inning with 1 out.
And he told us his stomach was churning at, what, 2 o'clock this afternoon?
That's right.
Imagine now.
All right, Mike Arnold now playing first base. Up there, looks at ball 1. Arnold's been busy today. Started at second, went into pitch. Has played first, has had a hit. A big hit, too, I might add, for Bangor. A nice defensive play out there. Lays down a bunt. It's a good one. And they'll throw to first in time to nail Arnold, but getting down to second. Mike Arnold lays down a beauty of a bunt, and Dorr, with the tying run, now gets down to second base. Well, Neil Waterman told us they would bunt with 1 out, forced him to make the plays, and Arnold got down a perfect bunt.
Yeah, that's a beautiful bunt, and I'll tell you what, almost a double clutch there by Frankie. He thought for a moment to go to second base, almost cost him. That was a close play at first.
2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning, and the catcher, Joey Wilcox, up there for Bangor. Frankie on the hill. Catches the corner, strike 1. Wilcox on the day is 0 for 2, has been hit by a pitch and drawn a walk. 0-1. Misses low, 1-1. Arthur Dorr is a runner at second base. Frankie's pitch. Outside, ball 2. Top of the order, Nick Traskus awaits on deck. All he wants right now is a chance to swing that bat. Ground ball to first. Foul, just foul.
Good call. That's a foul ball. That ump right in position, and that's a nice call, and he made it with authority.
Excellent play by Hoyt, though. You know, it looks easy, but when that ball's swimming down the line like that, you've got a runner coming at you and a pitcher coming at you. It's a tough play to make. And he ended the last inning on a play like that.
Yeah. Look at Frankie. Just 1 more, he says. Just 1 more.
2 balls and 1 strike on Joe Wilcox. Frankie with the pitch. Fouled off. Wilcox got a piece, so we go to 2-2. 8-7, York in the lead. This was scheduled for 6, but we've gone overtime. It's the last of the 8th inning now as darkness sets in at Knights of Columbus Field in Old Town. Eerie sort of a fog still hanging around here. The 2-2 pitch from Frankie. Just misses outside. You know the ump probably is not going to call that one. You don't want to end a state championship on a called strike. But now he'll have to make a decision. It's 3-2. Wow, look at that. Wilcox thinking about his job, and Frankie thinking about his. Chuck Bittner looks relaxed over there. How do you do it, Chuck? The 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4. Up high. Frankie just smiles. He's, yep, you're right. I wanted it, but you're right.
And again, Bangor is back to the situation where York was back in the 6th inning. They've got the guys that they want up, back to the top of the order.
Nick Traskus.
Oh, he says, I had it, and oh, I just missed.
Traskus is up there right now. He has not done big things at the plate today, but he had a home run yesterday, and he has made some excellent plays defensively for Bangor. Left fielder Traskus, men on first and second. Looks at a ball. Bangor has had about a dozen walks today.
How many times has Traskus saved runs and hits with those great catches out there?
That's right. 1-0 pitch. Misses outside. It is 2-0. Ryan Arabino is on the deck. The two words that York probably fears the most. You don't want him coming up there.
Oh, yeah.
In there for a strike. It's 2-1. Neil Waterman telling Traskus, make sure it's a good pitch. Don't help him out. Misses again. Ball 3. Holy cow. I'm more nervous than the players are. 10 walks so far for York pitching. The 3-1. Ball 4. And we will load him up for Ryan Arabino.
I can't believe it. I can't believe the script of this game.
Well, I'll tell you what. Either way, this is how both teams would want the game to end.
Absolutely.
You've got your best hitter at the plate with the bases full, a one-run ball game. Hey, mano a mano right here.
And it is getting dark. The cameras don't quite show how dark it is.
York 8, Bangor 7. Arabino looks at a ball. On the day, Ryan Arabino. 2 doubles, a walk, 2 walks, and has been hit by a pitch. They have not retired him yet. 2 men are out. Bases full. Frankie's pitch. Ball 2 low. This has been a roller coaster ride for both teams today. Bittner now will take a timeout to talk with Frankie. He has thrown 136 pitches.
And remember that he had a bases loaded jam last inning in the 7th inning and was able to get out of it.
Ryan Arabino in the playoffs. Bangor facing elimination against Hamden. 2 outs, last of the 6th inning, hit a 3-run homer to send Bangor on to the next round.
Can he do it again? That's the question that we will need answered here in the next few moments.
He's at the plate now, a good hitter's pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Frankie sets and delivers. Fly ball, deep to right field, it's gone! Bangor has won the State Little League Championship for the first time in 28 years. Can you believe this epic?
Wow! Absolutely amazing!
I'll tell you, my heart is up in my mouth. I cannot believe the finish to this game.
You just could see it coming. You could just see this game unfold. First with Tarbox for York in the 6th inning. And then when you knew when Arabino, if he could just get up there, you just had to feel that something was going to happen.
If you watched Hoosiers, if you watched The Natural, you said to yourself, that only happens in the movies, those kind of things. Believe me, it happens in real life. And Ryan Arabino with his 2nd grand slam of this tournament.
Look at the Bangor kids, Owen King, Fisher, and now the crowd.
Go to the field.
Talk about